5 minutes away from the bounce of the football in our O&M Live match of the day. It's the Wodonga Bulldogs at home taking on the Albury Tigers. Dan Vaccaro on the 40-wing stat sheet. Luke Francis and myself, Gus McLeod in commentary for McRae Motors, and Kylie King, boundary side for the New Market Hotel. She's doing a bit of groundwork at the minute, boys, just trying to find a nice little posse down there to nestle herself in for the afternoon. Of course, Sky Burgess, when we were here a couple of weeks ago, had no other option but the grass on the ground. Had to sit on the ground to find a good spot here at the kennel. Hence how a tighter facility it can be at times.
No, that is commitment, Gussie, from our very own Sky Burgess. Just, well, you really could call that boundary side Dan Vaccaro, couldn't you, when you're sitting on the turf down there?
Absolutely. How good is that, though? You want to get front and centre. Nothing better.
Just quiet. Is there a little bit of Surfing USA coming through the PA system at the minute?
They play good tunes at Martin Park, mate. I'll tell you now.
Quinny on the decks down there.
Terence Quinn, big shout out to him. He's a stalwart here at Wodonga.
Is that the Beach Boys, Surfing USA?
Oh, 80s music, not my strong point.
Yeah, your strong point.
Might even be 70s music, just quietly. Kylie King, have we got you for the New Market Hotel?
Have you got me? You've got me loud and clear, Gussie.
Just
distracted by the music. Maybe I should get away a little bit. I think my ground might be picking it up on you boys.
Oh, that's all right. I was going to say, I think we heard the Beach Boys, bit of Surfing USA.
Yeah, a bit of my vintage, so pretty happy with the playlist, lads.
Lukey Francis pretty happy as well, the Beach Boys. Kylie, before we do a bit of a wrap-up of the ground, conditions at ground level, you're on the edge of the boundary line at present.
Yeah, look, perfect conditions, boys. The ground's looking at picture. Weather-wise, we know it's pretty well all clear. Those showers that were passing by overnight is what they forecast, so it should be clear for the rest of the day. Light winds, currently 17 degrees, a top of 19. We haven't quite hit it yet, not sure if we will. I've just done the toss in the middle. The Bulldogs have won the toss and they will be kicking to the hospital end.
Very good. Kylie King, boundary side for the New Market Hotel. Dan Vaccaro on the 40-wing stat sheet. Who are we keeping tabs on this afternoon?
Absolutely, Gus. Doing it for 40 winks. So from Wodonga, we're doing Josh Maythew, who's been in superb form this year. One of the best midfielders in the league at this current point. He's averaging 30 disposals. Angus Baker, first game back after having a little bit of trouble with a finger, so he's playing today as superstar. Matt Wilson, I'll be taking his numbers, who's probably one of the most underrated players in the competition. Luke, he's been in superb form this year. Adam Jorgensen, who has just been awesome this year as well. And Tommy Johnson playing that fantastic roll down back. And for Albury Tigers, Isaac Muller, the number one ruckman by the Flemington Straight in the competition. He has been fantastic. While I'm calling it, Elliot Powell, Lucas Conlon, we're doing Riley Boss's numbers, and we're doing Jimmy Grills as well, who had a really good game for the Interleague a couple of weeks ago.
The man who was raised by wild Brumbies in Wontagong, west of Holbrook, Jim Grills.
Oh, I love it.
Wild
Say it again.
No, that's Simon Corr's old joke from about 10 years ago. Jimmy Grills, of course, from Wontagong, which is west of Holbrook, and he grew up on a farm, and Simon Corr used to have a bit of fun saying he was raised by wild Brumbies on the farm.
That is
How's about the coaching staff of Wodonga? We've just outed them out of their box, and we're in here now, and look at JT, he's out in the fresh air with the fans.
He is too.
How good's that?
Well, just quietly, it is a shout-out to the Wodonga Bulldogs. They've only got 2 boxes here at the kennel, and they offer up their box for us to broadcast from, which is a shout-out to Darren Mayfield, pardon me, Jordan Taylor and the entire Bulldogs football club for allowing us to use their facilities, and what a facility it is. Kylie King, boundary side for the New Market Hotel. A tip from you this afternoon.
Oh, look, I think a lot of discussion, as you talked about, with Bailey Griffiths for Wodonga being out, so I think I'm going to have to stick to the Tigers for this one.
Dan Vaccaro on the 40-wing stat sheet.
Wodonga by a point, boys.
Oh,
I like it. Luke Francis.
Gussie, I've gone for the Tigers. I'll say 2 goals. Can't wait to see Angus Baker back in action.
It's going to be a thrilling contest. Players are making...
Gus?
Oh,
come on, mate. You can't just get out of it like that.
I always give my tip a little bit closer to the bounce of the ball, Dan.
Sorry, I've got to know how you operate.
Gee, it's been a long time since I've been rostered on with you, Dan. Albury Tigers for mine, under 10 points will be the margin. If you just joined the broadcast, a lot of talk around the selected teams. Teams are as named. No funny buggers. And Jack Yelland will make his senior debut for the Wodonga Bulldogs. First quarter action about to get underway. Live from the kennels for A-grade oils and batteries. The Albury Tigers are kicking to the Pierce Street end. The Bulldogs to the hospital end. Dan Vaccaro's on the 40-wing stat sheet. Kylie King is riding the boundary for the New Market Hotel. My name's Gus McLeod. And the first voice you'll hear to kickstart proceedings is the Mayor of Wagga, He just runs that town, Dan. I tell you what, we've got the Mayor of Albury, we've got the Mayor of Wodonga as
Not
well.
a hard town to run.
It's Luke Francis
Gee,
on
thanks.
O&M Live.
Yeah, here we go, guys. Isaac Muller and Mick Driscoll in the ruck. They locked horns. Matey gets a clearing kick out of the middle. Jesse Wilson, though, takes a defensive mark for the Albury Tigers and gets it on the left foot and shoots it to the outer side. And Heiner Hennessy has it for the Tigers, left of centre wing, and brings it with a squaring border. Hodgson under pressure, took a wonderful mark. Now, he said that Jewel impeded, but the umpire didn't agree with him. On to Gilmore, and they come out this side to Riley By. So Tigers with possession, and they work it to Lucas Collin. That was a wonderful kick. They're on the half-forward flank now, broadcast side, and they're heading towards the Pierce end. They get their forward entry. Kelly at the back, and then Heiner Hennessy at the front. Ball comes out the back to the Bulldogs' defence. Ma picks it up. Will he get a clearing kick? He does, and they come out now.
Hodgson's the target. Can't quite keep that one alive as Harry Kitching, and the ball goes out of bounds for a boundary throw-in.
Really positive start for Wodonga for the midfield battle. Josh Matthew getting his hands on it early and a centre clearance as well. Lucas Collin and Riley Bice, hands on the footy early, fellas.
So 1 minute gone, Macca's time clock, boundary throw-in. 60 metres from the Tigers' goal. Muller took it out of the ruck, trying to find Gaynor, who kept it alive to Elliot Powell, but the umpire said it might have had a bit too much on it. It's out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. Scoreboard still at deadlock thanks to Steel Line. We've played 90 seconds on the Macca's time clock. For McRae Motors, here's Luke Francis. You're listening to O&M Live.
So Muller and Driscoll again. Here comes the boundary umpire, throws it in. Fell a little short. Muller got hands to it. Alex Jones off the deck. Tried to get it to Elliot Powell. Searches for it at ground level and then gets a hand pass away. Didn't find a teammate though. Eventually got to O'Hara, who lost it. Now at bootlace level again. Page bringing down Matey, and the umpire's going to call for it. So a little overcast at the moment in Wodonga. Showers and a top of 19 predicted. No rain at the current time though, as the Bulldogs work it to Driscoll, and they go beyond centre wing. Wilson dropped the mark. Wilding gets it out now to Mimo. Got swung around as he took his kick. Kitching is there, but the Tigers have it on half back. Just get it to Alex Jones, and a long hand pass back to Lucas Conlon now. Gets it on the boot, steers it into the middle. That's beautiful to Duncan, and Duncan comes away for the Tigers.
Wants to come broadcast side in the Heiner Hennessy direction. Sharon sits for him on the edge of the boundary line. Low chiselling kick to Jacob Conlon, who marks 75 from home. He's on, kicks in towards the hot spot. Kelly's the target. Kelly brings it to ground level. Garlett's there for the crumbs. Sorochinsky for the Dogs gets amongst the action as Jones for the Tigers collects towards O'Hara. O'Hara's got the lap in Page. Page on the left boot to the top of the square, and too big and too strong. Jacob Conlon marks tied up in the pocket. This will favour the right footer for a snap.
Really positive start here for Albury. They've had 3 repeat inside 50s and a really good mark there for Albury Tigers.
So the set play was set up by Jacob Conlon. Can he finish it? Right foot kick, you bet he can. Jacob Conlon back into the senior side, and he's got his first of the afternoon. The Albury Tigers lead 1 straight to the Bulldogs, yet to score on the Steel Line scoreboard.
Isaac Muller, boys, already. He's had an influence in the ruck. He's won the early hit-outs. He's had 2 early touches, but a really good finish there from Albury. Lucas Conlon, Elliot Powell, Riley Bice, all their big players, Lukey, are really coming into the game early, and calls for early concern for Wodonga.
Kylie, down to you on ground level for the Newmarket. How's the atmosphere early, Kylie?
Well, a few of the Doggies fans weren't happy. They were calling a push in the back as Conlon went for that mark, but I think it was reasonably fair.
Yeah, so their star forward, Jacob Conlon, opens their account this afternoon at John Flower Oval. Back in the middle, Driscoll and Muller. Muller got a clear tap away. Coming through was Elliot Powell. Missed the ball though. Page. Now Elliot Powell goes again. Greenhill got pushed off the ball. Mimo got it to Matey. Intercepted though by Alex Jones. Low kick inside 50. Rolling Johnson to Sorochinsky, and this is a hat kick, a long one to the centre half forward direction, and then a bouncing ball. And then Wilson missed it. Baker comes through, one of his first touches onto Wilson. Wilson has a shot at the hospital end. It's wayward offline, and it's gone through for 1 behind. So 6 plays 1. The Tigers lead on the Steel Line scoreboard very early. The Macca's time clock. We'll wait for that. It's 4.5 right now as we go to Gus McLeod for McRae Motors.
Thanks, Lukey. Tigers have the ball across half back. Jesse Wilson, Sharon in hand. Left foot kick, not his best kick. Heiner Hennessy's going to get on the half volley. Forced to retreat via hand back to Wilson, so it's back where it started. A lead up the ground comes via Muller, and he links up with Powell. True centre wing broadcast side. Elfie Powell takes a second bounce. Long penetrating kick in the Kelly direction. That's the Tigers at their best. Coast to coast footy, and Ben Kelly too strong. Marks 25 out directly in front.
Yeah, really concerning early days for Wodonga. Albury just playing really, really good methodical football, but they're going straight through the middle. They're looking really aggressive, and what another good mark. They've had 2 marks inside 50 in the opening 5 minutes for 5 entries, Lukey.
A clear difference in the entries inside 50. The Dogs just bombed in, whereas the Tigers have been precise. Ben Kelly to the Pierce Street end. Shouldn't make any mistake from here. Big Ben's got it, and he takes his season total to 9. The Tigers have got 2. And they lead this ball game by 11 points early stage of the first quarter for Steelline.
Yeah, the territory battle's definitely Albury's at the moment because, as I said earlier, they've had 5 inside 50s for 2 marks. Isaac Muller, he's starting to dominate the game. He's had 3 early touches for the ruckman, and Elliot Powell, you just saw him stream to the middle and his entry inside forward 50 was absolutely precise. And then you saw a couple minutes earlier with Angus Baker giving it to Matt Wilson, and they just blew that opportunity away. So positive signs for Albury on the 40 wing stat sheet.
Yeah, so the yellow and black hot to a flying start at John Flower Oval on this Saturday afternoon. The Wodonga Bulldogs 5-1 suffered their first defeat of the season when they went down to the Wang Rovers 7 days ago. And the Albury Tigers also 5-1, coming off that 61-point win over the Raiders. Now this is Grills, gets it now, half-forward flank for the Tigers, wants to come back, tried to get Jake Gaynor. Picks it up again, second opportunity to Hodgson. They come out the back of the contest to Duncan, Kitching had him. O'Brien, then on to Burnt, handballs to Page, under pressure from Wilding, gets it off to Bice, now wheels around back to O'Brien, so a few handballs in there. Jacob Conlon has a chance to pick it up, one way, back the other, onto his non-favoured side, the left foot kick, inside ball now. Bulldogs defence had to work overtime in the early stages of the opening term. 12 plays won on the Steelline scoreboard. We've gone 7 minutes on the Macca's time clock. Gus McLeod.
Deep in attack for the Tigers. Kelly won the tap, and Driscoll crumbed it and pumped it long down the line. It falls into the hands of Kitching. Across right half back for the Dogs. Broadcast side. Kitching's kick is not the best. Towards the stick. Sammy Jewell back to Kitching on the hands. Left foot kick long down the line as Muller sits in the hole and chops out for the Tigers. Whistle off the footy. Kylie King for the Newmarket Hotel. Did you catch what happened there?
No, I didn't, but it has given the Bulldogs time to regroup and plan an attack.
And they kick inside forward 50 now, the Dogs. Good luck trying to work out what that free kick was for. Here's Gilmore, comes down the broadcast side wing. Nice looking kick. Falls in the lap of Jim Grills, just behind true centre wing broadcast side.
O'Hara for the Tigers. There's that squaring kick to Page, a beauty. And they play on now to O'Brien, and O'Brien about a 20-metre kick to Bice, and Bice is away, so he has a bounce on the outer side on that left foot going in for Conlon. Oh, wonderful. Beautiful footy from the Tigers as they go in and get another entry. Dan Vaccaro.
It's like clockwork, Lukey. Wodonga go inside forward 50, kick to a 2-on-1. Albury bring it back up the other ground and a mark inside 50.
Jacob plays on. He wants a centering kick. Who's he got there? Muller, 2 bites, takes it, plays on. O'Brien on the boot. King. Did he kick it?
Across the face.
Yeah, gone through for 1 behind. So 13 plays 1 on the Steelline scoreboard. We've gone 8.5 on the Macca's time clock. Here's Gus McLeod for McRae Motors on O&M Live.
Geez, dangerous kicking from Deneen. Put his captain Morrison under the pump, and he's got a kick as he's tackled. And it falls in the lap of Riley Bice, who marks 40 from home, tied up on the paint. Little chip kick, dangerous, Conlon direction. O'Brien over the top. Tommy O'Brien's marked 30 metres out, slight angle. And I tell you what, Vax, the Dog's going to have to be a lot tighter than that exiting D50.
Oh, it's a nightmare at the moment. Gus, 6 marks inside 50 from 7 entries, Albury Tigers. So they are absolutely dominating this contest early days.
The Dogs haven't looked anything like getting the ball inside forward 50. The ball's in the hands of Tom O'Brien. Distance shouldn't trouble Tom. He'll kick this one 35, 40 metres on a 45-degree angle to the hospital, or the Pierce Street end, I should say. O'Brien's right foot kick. He's made nice connection. I put the commentator's curse on because it doesn't have the legs on the line, taking it across nicely. The Bulldogs concede a minor score via a rush behind. The Albury Tigers 2-1-13 to the Dogs, 1 behind. Steelline scoreboard at the 10-minute mark of the first.
Johnson out from the fullback position to Mimo. So they may have missed that one, the Tigers, but gee, they've come to play. They have been sharp early in the first term here at John Flower Oval. Yelland, and then gets on to Soroczynski. Wild hand pass, putting Gus Jones under pressure. Wilson sees it out of bounds, and we'll go to Dan Vaccaro on the 40-wing stats.
Yeah, I think what they really need to do with Wodonga is try and slow it down a little bit, take a little bit of sting out of the game and get to working out. But they only have 2 inside 50, so they're really struggling at the moment.
So Muller and Driscoll in the ruck again. So this is how the game started. Let's have a look. Oh, Muller just got rid of Driscoll, puts it on the boot. A high ball going up just on the arc of the 50. Johnson flew, and then coming through was King, missed it. Over on the far side, and then ball at ground level. Johnson wants to see it out of bounds, and it's gone across the chalk, Dan Vaccaro.
That was that Muller, boys. He's had 6 touches early, and I reckon he's won every single hit out as well, so he's absolutely dominating this contest.
First quarter action for A-grade oils and batteries and AdBlue for you. Boundary throw-in, Les Cheesley side of the John Flower Oval. Give that tap to Driscoll. Vax gains about 15 metres. Hodgson tracking back for the Tigers, feeds it back to Wilson. Inboard handball was okay. The pressure arrives from the Dogs, and now it's pinballing around on the outer side. Mimo applies a nice tackle. Baker lurks, and he's been quite early. On hands and knees, Mimo shovels a handball backwards. Jorgensen and Baker link up, and the Dogs go into attack. High up and under, and the attacking play is all over because it's out of bounds on the full in front of the Steel Line scoreboard, which reads the Albury Tigers 2-1-13. The Dogs 1 behind thanks to Steel Line.
That's been the really disappointing thing for mine is that Wodonga have gone inside 53 times and had an opportunity to cut even, but they've just turned it over.
Oh, Alex Jones bag, kicks Spiteri, picks it up on the boot. No, ordinary kick. Gilmore wants to come across goals to Lucas Conlon. Lucas wants to come back this way. Daly bounces in front of him. Again, the Bulldogs just pick it up to King, who's had a couple of early touches. Kitching brings him down, and the umpire will call for it. So 13 plays 1. If you're just tuned in, the Tigers have a lead on the Steel Line scoreboard.
Good officiating from the umpire. I reckon King dropped the knees there looking for the height. Umpire saw it that way as well. Back into play, O'Hara. Bit of soccer skills. Gains about 5 metres up the line. And it's out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. Dan Vaccaro.
Early days, boys, but I think the effort for Wodonga's got to be a little bit better. Jet Cassidy there was caught flat-footed when he could have attacked that footy early. So a little bit of worrying signs in the opening 10 minutes.
The Tigers lead by 12 points. 12 minutes gone. Macca's time clock. Here's a go for O'Brien. Back to Grills and on to Hillary, who just throws it on the boot and says, someone have a crack at this one. High up and under, beats a lot of them. Heiner had Vasso in his hands, dropped the sitter. Here's a go for O'Hara, open 50 away, so he kicks in the Conlon direction. Morrison got pushed, umpire said nothing in it. Conlon gathers, handballs on to Bice to the open goals, and he makes no mistake. Coast to coast footy from the Albury Tigers. And for mine, Charlie Morrison, very stiff, not to get a free kick against Jacob Conlon. The Tigers extend the lead to 18 points. Steel Line scoreboard.
I think the really disappointing thing for Wodonga at the moment is Albury are well entitled to get on top of a contest because they're such a good team, but the effort for Wodonga is a little bit concerning. Players are caught flat-footed. We talked about Jet Cassidy caught flat-footed at the attack of the footy then, and then not going up with that, looking over their shoulders in a marking contest as well. So concerning signs early for the Dogs.
Yeah, I agree, Gussie. I thought Jacob Conlon infringed there and just got rid of his opponent. Anyway, play went on and Bice kicked the goal. O'Brien, here they come again, the Tigers, going forward. And luckily, Charlie Morrison is back there. He takes the mark. Ordinary kick going out. O'Brien's going to fire it back in here for the Tigers. He has a ping of his sticks to the Pear Street end. Another one. So they get their 4th. Gee, 25 plays 1, a blistering opening term for the Tigers on the Steel Line scoreboard. Macca's time clock hasn't gone 14 minutes yet. Here's Dan Vaccaro for 40 winks.
Yeah, it was a really poor start. And we'll just go down to Kylie. It looks like there's a bit of rain down there, Kylie.
Yeah, correct, lads. It just started off as a slight shower, but it's getting a little bit heavier at the moment. So let's just see if it sticks around or not.
Have you got a brolly, Kyles?
Nah, just an old-fashioned hoodie. It'll keep me dry, boys.
Kylie King for the Newmarket Hotel will tough it out. Back in the middle, Muller left that one behind. The Dogs have made a change to the ruck. It looks like Deneen's gone in. Spills out towards Grills for the Albury Tigers. Back towards Page, and he goes via the left boot towards Elliot Powell. Marks on the Les Cheesley side of the Martin Park in Wodonga on the edge of the centre square. Kicks long down the line. Good-looking kick to Bice, who marks in front of Gus Jones. True centre wing out of side for the Albury Tigers. Bice called to play on, wants to find his left, done himself a mischief here. So he's forced to retreat to Lucas Conlon, who's back in his traditional position at fullback with the return of his brother into the senior side. They come out broadcast side wing now. Now it's young Byrne. Won't miss him in those fluoro boots. Long down the line to a 2-on-1. Hillary's there for the Tigers. I reckon he's got a bit of Vasso on his hands too, boys. That ball was an absolute sitter. Back towards Baker. Starting to get progression into the game. Switches the footy out wide, and the Dogs are away via Brown.
Brown's got it. So he's on the half-back flank. He wants to come back. So they've lost a lot of territory here, the Bulldogs. And it comes now to the full-back position. Johnson, fumble. Daly's after him. Tigers go in like vultures. Kelly picks it up, spits the handball off. Behind Hennessy brought down in a tackle.
Gee, stiff there, Lukey, holding the footy.
Kick will go to Greenhill, Gussie. It was quick. There was a quick call, wasn't
Very
it?
stiff. I think rewarding the tackler, they're trying to do the umpire, but he only just got the footy.
That's it. So Greenhill will have it in defence for the Bulldogs.
Holding on for dear life here, Wodonga.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Dan Vaccaro. Worrying signs early. So they've really got to get their hands on the pill. I think they've got to slow the tempo down, Gussie.
They do.
They got to get some more possession. Boundary side, Kylie King, that rain starting to come down.
Yeah, it is getting a little heavier. Some brollies are going up all around the ground. But yeah, hopefully it'll slow the Tigers down because nothing seems to at this stage, does it?
Heiner, the boy from Detterain, kicks long down the line for the Dogs. Wilson flew high, unrealistic. Umpire says yes, free kick to the Tigers. Right in front of our broadcast position here at the Martin Park. Muller's the recipient of the free kick. He goes backwards to Bryden Hodgson. Jorgensen almost slips over on the mark there, boys. He's got his ice skates on. 25 plays 1. The Tigers lead for Steelline if you just joined the broadcast. Hodgson comes in board. O'Brien went the one hand, should have gone two. Now the Dogs have numbers. Mathy to Baker. Wasn't ready for the handball, but he made good use of it. Goes out wide to the co-captain Greenhill. Long kick down the lines, chopped out by the Tigers. They're just everywhere, Lukies. They got the ball in the guts.
They are. So Alex Jones goes to gain a Gus and then he goes on the boot. Inside 50. Bice picks it up. Has a pot shot. Don't tell me they got another one. They have. They have. They've kicked their fifth. So 31 plays 1. That's a double for Riley Bice on the Steelline scoreboard. My goodness. Macca's time clock has only gone 17 in the first term. Let's go back down to Kylie King for the Newmarket.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain what's going on down here. I think, Luke, you summed it up best when you said the Tigers are just looking so sharp at the moment and the Bulldogs have just gone wanting.
Yeah, Albury are looking really sharp at the moment, but Wodonga have just been poor with the footy. The Tigers have brought a dry footy to the game and Wodonga haven't. Simple.
Kelly's gone into the ruck against Driscoll. Baker dispossessed. In fact, it was Wilson. Jones comes through for the Tigers. Kicks inside 50 in the Conlon direction. Just goes through the pack like a steam train. And the umpire says we'll ball the footy up. 25 from the Tigers' goal.
Here we go. So a big stoppage inside the 50 at the Pier Street end. Tigers in attack again. Driscoll, big fist away. Picked up by O'Brien. Snaps it around his body. Luckily, Deneen was back there for the Bulldogs. Takes it to Jet Cassidy. Deep in the back pocket. Pier Street end. And what's he got on? Goes with the 20-metre one. Nice kick to Deneen. Good footy, that one. So they need to string some play together. And Deneen's lost. Did a full 360. Goes to the boundary. That's poor footy. Then try to get Spiteri, wasn't good enough. Gussie, they're a little out of sorts here at the moment, the Bulldogs.
They certainly are. I tell you who's not out of sorts. That's the Rovers and the Pigeons around the grounds for Binglee. 17 minutes gone, 9 apiece in that contest on our sister station, 15-6, 3 and 8. And back here live at the kennel, well, it's a very different story. It's a 30-point lead to the Tigers, early stages of the first term for A-grade oars and batteries. Into attack go the Dogs. Chesser stayed on ground level. Wilding flew high. The Dogs need to find some support at ground level because the Tigers have numbers. Duncan met head on by Brown. Pinballs around at ground level. Well done, Duncan. Got wrapped up in a tackle by Mathy. Page kicks long out wide. It's a nice looking kick. Falls the way of Heiner Hennessy, who's worked his way up the ground. Right foot kick to the hot spot for the Albury Tigers. Morrison brings it to ground level. Here's Garlett. Crumbs it beautifully and kicks a beautiful goal. Sunjan goal today from Jeff. The Tigers look prolific and the Dogs have no answers in the first term for Steelline.
Yeah, really disappointing by Wodonga. The game's all but really over now, to be honest. Albury have a good enough team to really drive this game home, but Wodonga have just been so poor with their ball use. Every time they get the footy, they turn it over. It's as simple as that. And Albury just look like they're in 30 metres of space every time they have the footy. So it's probably a credit to Albury, but Wodonga have been super poor in this opening quarter.
Kylie for the Newmarket, get a hose. The Tigers are on fire.
Yeah, you have to be here to see it for yourselves. It doesn't do it justice, does it, the call?
Exactly. Baker, O'Brien, Daly, hands up. Here they go again. Muller, he's wrapped up by a couple of Bulldogs, Johnson and also Marr, and the umpire's going to call for it. So about 15, right of the centre. John Flower Oval, round 8, O&M action. 14.94 2AY with Kylie King, Dan Vaccaro, Gus McLeod and Luke Francis. Wilson, off half-back, wild kick. It's going to fall into the hands of Hodgson. Everything going right for the Tigers at the moment. Short one to Page. Back flank on the opposite side. And then links up. Finds O'Brien, who's had a blistering opening term. He's playing wonderful footy.
He certainly is. The Tigers have had no passengers. Everyone's made a contribution. Kick towards O'Hara, might sit for the left footer. And happy to take that one across the boundary line for the Dogs is Jack Yelland on club debut. Boundary side, the Newmarket Hotel. Kylie King, what's the messaging from the Wodonga coaches at present?
Oh, good question. I think they're pretty stunned, aren't they? That intensity they were looking for has certainly gone wanting, and they're panicking, as you guys have rightly called. They're not taking their time. They're not being patient. But then again, it's the Tigers' pressure, isn't it?
Baker dropped it. Heine Hennessy on his tail. Ball's gone out of bounds. Dan, just give us the inside 50s for the opening term since the 40 wins.
Albury 14 inside 50s, Wodonga 4.
14
so
to
it's
4.
An absolute grubbing at the moment.
It is. It's a shellacking. Let's have a look. Umpire hurls it back into play. Driscoll over the top of Muller. Matey gets his hands on it. Swings around. Hurley on the boot. Out towards right of centre wing, far side. Ball at ground level now, hacked off by Greenhill. Picked up though by Lucas Conlon, looking for Grills. Bounce just in front of him. Spiteri picks it up, swings around. They need something from this. It goes him forward. Great kick, and the mark is taken by Wilding. Well, this is a must kick on goal. He has to kick this goal, boys.
And it doesn't quite favour the right footer. Normally Oscar likes a bit of an arc and he set shot routine, Lukey, but the equation's as simple as this. I think if he misses this set shot at the 22-minute mark, it's almost curtains for the Dogs.
Yeah, that's it. Let's have a look. Oscar Wilding, just under the scoreboard. And this would bring it back to a 30-point margin, so he has got it. Gee, they dearly needed that. So 37-7 on the Steel Line scoreboard. We've gone 22 in the opening term on the Macca's time clock. Let's go to Dan Vaccaro on the 40-week stats.
Yeah, good finish there by Oscar Wilding, but they're in damage control here with Wodonga. They've got to get another 1 or 2 repeat to give themselves any chance going further into the game. Josh Matey and Angus Baker have really been lone soldiers in this Dogs team, so 6 touches respectively for both of them. 5 inside 50s for 1 mark, but Albury Tigers 14 inside 50s, 6 marks. Isaac Muller 8 touches, Riley Bice 8 touches, completely dominating at the moment.
It's been a dominating first term for the Albury Tigers for A-grade oils and batteries. And we're back in the centre once again. Isaac Muller brought the tap down for the Tigers. Towards the outer side, coming through is O'Hara. Hands on the Sharon. Left foot kick to centre half forward, trying to find goal. It was held by Soroczynski. Umpire said nothing in it. Gaynor crumbs and kicks on goal. But it's across the face of the left-hand side. The Tigers 6-2-38. The Bulldogs 1-1-7 for Steel Line. I tell you what, the Tigers, they're on fire on O&M line for Steel Line.
Johnson at the fullback position. The Bulldogs defence have seen a lot more than what they wanted of this Sharon in the opening term. Morrison, back pocket, thumps it. Outside 50, he's got Wilson out there. Well, 2 Wilsons, Matt Wilson and Jesse Wilson clash. Ball across the line in front of Reece King. As we go back down to Kylie King, boundary side for the Newmarket.
Yeah, look, Jordan Taylor's certainly been up and about, giving directions, and I don't know what his message will be at the quarter-time break, but yeah.
Frustrating for JT because
frustrating.
the biggest issue for Wodonga at the moment is their effort and their sloppiness around the ball, and you can't really coach that at the moment. You can get your structures as right as you want, but when the effort and the footy use isn't there, it's really hard to coach.
Kylie mentioned it in the pre-game. The Dogs have been slow starters when Kylie's come. I reckon the Dogs might put a ban on you soon, Kylie. Ban from all Wodonga games.
Oh, well, last time I was here, they did come back to win in the end.
I like it.
So you never say never.
Good riddance from Kylie King. Baker, hands on the footy, out of side. Long down the line kick. Wilson joins in the action. That's Matt for the Bulldogs. Kicks long down the line, 1-on-1. Lucas Conlon, too big and too strong for Wilding. Wilding happy to take this one across the paint for a boundary throw in 55 metres out from the Dogs' goal. Dan Vaccaro, 40 wings. Yeah. Angus Baker working his way into the game.
Yeah, Baker's been their lone soldier at the moment, as I said earlier. He's up to 7 touches, and he just looks like to be the only one driving the ball forward for Wodonga.
24 gone on the Macca's time clock. First term at John Flower Oval. And the Tigers with a 31-point lead. Ball at ground level, hacked off the ground by Elliot Powell. Going out in front of Johnson. The ball, again, has gone out of bounds. So I didn't see this coming. The Tigers starting off like this, they have been scintillating. So clean
probably
in
got
these
about
conditions.
5 or 6 players that have just been immense for them. Riley Boss, he's kicked 2 goals and he's up to 7 touches as well in the first quarter.
Around the grounds, Bingley, Lavington out to a strong lead, 29-4 midway through the first term. Back here at Martin Park, boundary thrown on the outer side, favours Muller. Down towards Powell, Angus Baker for the Dogs, slips as he handballs to Heiner. There goes the torpedo punt, if you don't mind, long down the line. Falls the way of Hillary for the Albury Tigers, tied up on the boundary. Gets the ball now onto O'Brien. O'Brien back to Gilmore. Gilmore's handball was poor. Put Page under a fair bit of pressure. The Dogs have numbers as the ball lingers towards the boundary line for a boundary throw-in. If you just joined the broadcast, the Tigers have kicked 6 goals to 38 to the Dogs, 1-1-7 on the steel line scoreboard. 26 minutes gone in the first term on the Macca's time clock.
The boundary umpire's got it on the chalk of the 50 at the hospital end. Let's have a look. Far side, hurls it back into play. Muller. And also Jill Beautiful tap down from Muller to Powell. And then Powell on the boot. Sends it up to the half-forward flank. 2-on-1. Driscoll takes the mark in front of Garlett. And now he sags off Driscoll. He wants to shoot it into the middle. Baker too tall for him. It ends up with Heiner for the Bulldogs. Plays on quickly. Short one. He's got Yelland on that left foot. First game in a Bulldogs Guernsey. Ball hits the deck. Rolling around. Muller. Whistle. Over the shoulder, is it?
Correct, Luke. Officiated by the non-officiating umpire.
There you go, Gussie. So Muller's about to get it.
His numbers, Dan Vaccaro?
This will be his 8th touch on the 40-wing stat sheet, Gus.
And that's not factoring in hit-outs either, Lukey.
That's it, Gussie. So they will get it. The Albury Tigers, they're in defensive 50 at the hospital end.
Muller switches out to Lucas Conlon, his 40-wings disposals, Dan.
Lucas Conlon was about to have his 5th disposal.
Up towards centre wing, Heiner. Handball was poor. The Tigers have numbers. They come inboard to O'Hara. He loops one over the top and the Tigers can play overlapping footy. Page kicks up towards Bice, gathers on the half volley, sits favourably for the left footer who kicks in the Conlon direction. And that's deja vu. They did it earlier in the first quarter. But Conlon, unselfishly, on a dime to Jim Grills, a 50-metre tracer bullet to the man from Wontagong, and Jim will go back and have a set shot from 30 out, slide angle.
Not a whole lot Wodonga could do with that kick there. That was just unbelievable work there by Albury Tigers. They're up to 16 inside 50s, but they've taken 7 marks, Luke, which is so evident. And then you look at Wodonga, 7 inside 50s for 1 mark. So the preciseness is there from Albury. It's unbelievable to watch.
Not a lot they could do about the kick, but I reckon the man on Jimmy Grills could have followed him in. Wontagong Jim for the Tigers, 7th. Left foot kick, not the best. The Dogs get out of jail. Jimmy Grills kicks it behind. 6-2-38. The Dogs, 1-1-7 steel line scoreboard. It's an avalanche of Albury Tigers goals in the first quarter for A-grade oars and batteries.
So perhaps a greasy ball playing a part in Grills missing that one, shifting it left. Wilson on the boot to Brown. Well, G had to go. I reckon he'd have grass under his fingernails. Greenhill. And then missing it was Chesser, and it comes across the line just down in front of our broadcast position.
That kick there to Cade Brown is just evident of how Wodonga have performed today. That was really, really poor. That should be a simple 20-metre kick. Wodonga have nailed them all year. Really concerning that they're not going to glove today.
Muller tapped, one down. Yellen's over the footy for the Dogs. Umpire says, give it here, my friends. We'll ball the footy up. In fact, it was young Chesser in his second senior game for the Dogs. Muller wins the tap. Chesser for the Dogs. Wrapped up by O'Hara. And at quarter time, the Wodonga Bulldogs are stunned. They trail this game to the Albury Tigers 6-3-39 to the Bulldogs 1-1-7. Goals in the first term to Jacob Conlon, a double to Riley Bice, and singles to O'Brien and Garlett. The only goal kick for the Dogs is Oscar Wilding, and that came at the 22-minute mark of the first term. The Bulldogs, they've got a lot to make up in the second term on O&M Live. The Tigers lead 39-7 on O&M Live, where you won't miss a thing.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
Pain or injury can stop you from living life to the fullest. Albury Wodonga Private Hospital specialises in advanced orthopaedic services and offers a full range of care from diagnosis to surgery and rehabilitation. Get back to the life you love with our support.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where students come first. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go for it with GoTAFE.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything.
Rewrite the rules. Carlton Zero.
R08 Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? And meditation? One for sport? And one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
GoTAFE is hiring, and we want you on our team. Flexibility, professional development, generous remuneration, and a staff wellbeing program are just a few of the great benefits we offer. If you have a passion for your skill or qualification and you're looking for real work-life balance, then GoTAFE is the place for you.
GoTAFE is leading,
inspiring,
hands-on,
flexible, fabulous.
We have dozens of trainer positions and corporate roles open right now. Get in touch today.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend, we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
That's bad footy to Page. Just simple turnovers here from the Doggies. They're just right off O'Hara, Mimo, those steals it. And then the Bulldogs go inside 50 again. That's better to Wilding, and he'll have a shot on goal. He's already got one in the opening term, and he'll be shooting at his second. 4 minutes go on the CMV truck and bus on the Macca's time clock, second term.
Yeah, really good vision there by Jorgensen, and they got one out the back and Wilding on the end of it to have a chance to line up for his second. They need more of that, Wodonga.
Let's have a look. Here goes Wilding. Oscar, as I said, shooting for a double, and don't they need it? Comes in, starts to come back. He's got it. So that's their second. So 46-13 on the CMV truck and bus scoreboard. Macca's time clock has gone close to 5 as we come back to you, Dan.
Absolutely, and that's a really good finish there by Oscar Whiting. What Wodonga really need to do now is they've got to chip away at that score. They can't get carried away and try and play real kamikaze football because that's working into Albury's hands. Gus mentioned before they're setting up perfectly behind the footy, so that's not going to work. They need to try and chip away, figure out how they can be unpredictable going forward, and just chip away at that 30-point lead at the moment and just get within that 3 or 4 goals come the last quarter.
Kylie for the Newmarket Hotel. Looks like the rain's eased up.
Yeah, definitely eased up, but still grey skies around. So let's see. A few patches of blue, but definitely still a greasy footy out there.
7-4-46 the Tigers. The Dogs 2-1-13. CMV truck and bus scoreboard. Umpire throws the footy up for the second time in the centre circle. Elliot Powell applied a high tackle. Umpire saw it that way. And slow to get up is Adam Jorgensen. One of my favourites comes out to Greenhill, the co-captain. Broadcast side, inside 50 go the Dogs. Flying high was Gilmore, brought it to ground level. Kitching got taken high, the umpire said, by Riley Bice. And Harry Kitching, I reckon he's probably just outside his distance.
Yeah, really good play there by Wodonga. You just feel like they're working themselves slowly back into the contest, doing what they need to do. They're getting to the footy early, and they're able to get those 2 free kicks in a minute.
So Harry Kitching, 45-degree angle, man on the marks on the paint of 50. Arcs around, low chiselling kick, good lead. And that's good footy from the Dogs. And I reckon this is Oscar Wilding once again. I can't quite see through the scaffold. In fact, it's Chesser.
That, just on Kitching then, that was really smart. Albury clogged the hole there with about 20 metres out and had about 3 blokes free. And Kitching just looked to the pocket.
Lukey, I cannot see this from our van. Now I can. Back into play. Chesser's right foot kick. Hugs the near side. It's across the face for a minor score. The Dogs 2-2 to the Albury Tigers. How good's this? At Wodonga, they've got that much advertising coming on the score. It's a minor score. The Bulldogs trail by heaps. There you go. 7-4-46, the 2-2-14 CMV truck and bus.
Yeah, you're right about that, Gussie. And yeah, your view completely obscured there with Chesser having a shot on goal. Had to see through a bit to Mathy. Now the Bulldogs get it back to Yelland. On to Sorochinsky. Inside 50, a hurry kick. No. Jesse Wilson back there defending beautifully. In the hole. What's he going to do here? He switches it out to the outer side. A long kick going out. Johnson tried to get a fist to it. Ball at ground level. Elliot Power came sweeping through. Baker for the Bulldogs. On to Matt Wilson. Another entry for the maroon and white. Over the back of the pack. Chesser again. Left foot. Has he got it? He has. So maybe they can just get something from this. 46 plays 20 on the CMV truck and bus scoreboard. A Sunjan goal of the day. The Macca's time clock has gone 7:40 as we go back to Dan Vicara.
Yeah, what a great finish there by Jack Chesser. That's a fantastic goal. Crumbed it, snap over the shoulder, and that's a really positive start to the quarter by Wodonga. I think what Wodonga need to do, as I said earlier, they've got to chip away at it. They're having their little moment of repeat inside 50s. They've got to make him count, Lukey, and that one there on that occasion did. And that's why he was brought into the team, Jack Chesser. He makes goals from half chances. He's a really good player. He's dominating in the twos.
Of course, he's kept Nick Hines out of the side, who's the Dogs' leading goal scorer, ironically. So he's got to make an impact. Otherwise, there's pressure for spots. Back live, Baker. Hands on the Sharon. Gets a clearing kick up towards Kitching for the Wodonga Bulldogs. Ball's going to head towards the boundary line. Byrne can't quite get there. Kept it alive in the nick of time. And the umpire's found a free kick. It looks like it's going to be a high against Kitching. And it's going the way of Byrne. Low Chisler inboard to Gaynor, the boy from Wagga Wagga, who celebrated a birthday earlier in the week. So Jake's got the footy in hand. Les Cheesley side of the John Flower. Long kick down the line. Tom Johnson with a big fist. Elite body and paint player of the day from Big Tommy Johnson. Spud Froy will be proud of that effort, Dan.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Gus. Really good smothered there. And Wodonga, as I said, just working their way into the game a little bit. Jorgensen, Wilson and Matthew, early touches for these boys.
Around the grounds, Bingley. Port Adelaide up by 80 points midway through the second quarter.
Shut up,
over
Gus.
the Hawks.
Shut up.
Gee, wow.
That's a shellacking, Lukey.
That is a shellacking, Gussie. Dan Vaccaro just, he's feeling the pinch
Someone
at the
run
moment.
some tissues up here. We might have some tears.
Okay. And the ball goes to ground level over Yelland, or under Yelland, and the umpire takes it. Here we go again. Far side left of centre, a restart. And going through Yelland again, brought to ground, and the umpire is going to call for it. So if you missed the opening term, it was an absolute blitz. And the Wodonga Bulldogs pegging a couple back in the second term, but still the Tigers with a 26-point lead. So 46 plays 20 on the CMV Truck and Bus scoreboard.
We've got a free kick here, Lukey.
We have Gussie going to Angus Baker, and he kicks it out wide here.
10th touch to Baker.
And they play on to Johnson, and they have it on true centre wing.
Good user of the footy, and that's no exception. Up towards half forward, getting it on the half volley. I think it was the big stick. It was. Good pick up from the big man. We'll ball the footy up on the edge of the centre square. Favouring the Dogs. They trail by 26 points on O&M Live. For CMV Truck and Bus, here comes Mayfield. Kick was smothered off the boot. Got the ball back to Pay to the Tigers. His left foot kick goes long down the line. Grills makes a good contest. Coming through as Gaynor. Gathers, goes back to Muller. The big man had to bend down a fair way. He's a go now for O'Brien in towards space. The dual stick come through like the Southern Aurora. Smashed up the back, and Joel Heiner applies a big crunching tackle on number 5 for the Tigers, Jay Hillary. 2 players that played TDFL footy last year, Lukey, now trying.
On the boot now to Kelly, just left of the centre, wheels and goes the big man. Look at this, Jacob Conlon comes out, just through his mitt. Luke Daly has to go, free kick
for a
to
push
Jacob
in the back.
Conlon. Yep. So he will get it. Dan, did you see it? Do you think it was there?
I thought it might have been a little bit soft, but the umpire's obviously a lot closer than me. So.
I thought the chop of the arms would have been a free.
That's probably what I actually thought it was called for. So
the umpire did signal the push in the back. Interesting call, Lukey.
This would be a real stinger for Wodonga, Luke.
Yeah, it would. So 46 plays 20. This would get the Tigers out again to a good break. So let's have a look. This guy is just a wonderful footballer, a great forward, Jacob Conlon. And he's now shooting at the Tigers' 8th. We've only gone over 11 in the second term on the Macca's time clock, and he's got it. So that's a treble, an early treble for Jacob Conlon. And they get away, the Tigers, on the CMV Truck and Bus scoreboard. Let's go back to Dan Vaccaro on the Footy Wing stat sheet.
Yeah, as I said, a real stinger for Wodonga. 3 early inside 50s for Albury, and they've kicked that goal there. Really, really good finish. But Wodonga just really need to bite back. As I said, they've got to chip away at that score. They're not going to get it in the next 10, 15 minutes. They've got to make sure they get to the last quarter with only being sort of that 3 or 4 goals down.
Around the grounds, Bingley, 26-23. The Rovers lead the Pigeons. 31-22, the Panthers lead the Raiders, and 49-8. The Magpies lead the Alpine Saints, and here at Martin Park, 52-20, the Tigers lead the Bulldogs. For Wodonga Pumps and Mowers back in the centre, Yelland lurks, tries to get hands on the footy. Cactus Brown comes through, pumps it on the boot, inside 50 to Chesser. Good footy from the Dogs, Jack Chesser, a little bit opportunistic. Gets a mark, 35 metres out, maybe 40 metres out, slight angle. Let's see what the kid's made of, Dan.
Yeah, really good mark there by Jack Chesser, and really good midfield craft there by Cactus Brown as well. So he got the clearance and pumped it into 50, and Jack Chesser lined up for his second. Could steer Wodonga back into the game.
Good nickname, that, the Cactus.
Unreal.
Jack Chesser to the Pierce Street end, makes good contact, but it's across the face and keeping it alive.
That's front on contact.
It is front on contact. Well called, Dan Vaccaro. Talk us through it for 40 winks.
Yeah, really good. Bit of a miss kick there by Jack Chesser, but Jules Stick made a contest out of it. And I think it was Oscar Wilding, was it? I can't really see after this. It is the stick, and a really good free kick. Really good decision there by the umpire.
Now, the stick loves a goal, but he's going to centre this ball in towards space, trying to find Spiteri. Wasn't the stick's best kick. Wilson got to get rid of it. He's gone here. Holding the footy, should have been paid. Got out of jail, did Jesse Wilson. The umpire calls for the footy, will ball it up deep in the pocket. 52 plays 20. The Dogs desperately need the next for McRae Motors. You with Luke Francis.
Muller and also Jewel in the ruck. Ball finding its way towards the boundary line. And again, we'll have another boundary throwing. Let's go back down to Kylie King for the Newmarket boundary side.
Starting to hear a few cries of go doggies from the crowd, so they certainly have got up and about, and you've got to say they have tightened it up a little bit.
So a 32-point lead at present on the CMV Truck and Bus scoreboard for the yellow and black. Muller has been magnificent in the ruck. Jewel, though, picks it up, goes to Baker. Wilson brought him down. Jorgensen comes flying through, gets it on the boot. Ball rolling through along the ground. And Tigers go out off the ground to Spiteri. He's got it, Noah.
He normally soccers him off the ground on a Sunday, not on a Saturday, Lukey, when he plays the Wodonga Diamonds.
That is. He's a dual sport player, isn't he, Gussie? And I tell you what, his soccer skills are on display there, Dan Vaccaro.
Absolutely. That's a really good finish by Noah. And the two players that they've brought in, Wodonga, Jack Chester and Noah Spiteri, they bring him in because they make goals out of nothing and they take their opportunities. Very similar to Hines, who missed out in his spot. So a fantastic finish there by Noah Spiteri. A really poor kick in the forward 50 there from Jewel when he had that shot on the boundary, but really good to follow it up with a goal.
So back to 26 points at the 15-minute mark. And the Tigers respond quickly, going inside 50 from the centre clearance, and Big Ben Kelly marks borderline uncontested. He's going to go back and have a set shot, 35 metres out, slight angle.
That's a really disappointing opportunity to lose that one out of the midfield there by Wodonga and Albury, a chance to bite back. But that's just the way it is. They're a really, really good side, and at least Wodonga now are showing that effort, and sometimes you just can't do a lot about Albury's dominance.
So Kelly to the hospital end. For the Tigers to respond in less than 30 seconds. This would be a dagger in the heart of the Dogs. Ben Kelly, well, he lets it slip across the face left-hand side for a minor score. 8-5 to 4-2, the Tigers lead on the CMV Truck and Bus scoreboard. And it looks like Angus Baker's going to try and restart proceedings with the kick-in.
Let's see what they can string together here, Gussie. So Baker comes from the full-back position. He goes to Deneen. And he wants to go back to Baker. Gets it on the half volley. Now we have to go with the long kick. There it is, the dump one. Now O'Brien's at the back, Kelly at the front. O'Brien got up high. Falls away, Hillary. Ball has gone out of bounds. Now, Dan, let's have a look at the inside 50s for the second term.
So the inside 50 count, Wodonga have had 4 and Albury have had 3. So they've really levelled it up in that regard, Lukey.
Boundary throw-in in front of the club rooms here at Martin Park. The John Flower Oval. Muller. Tap towards Jones was poetry in motion. Runs inboard, long raking handball, goes out wide, trying to find O'Brien. His handball was poor. Big Ben Kelly's got to bend down nice and low. Support comes for the Tigers. Diving so this one is King. And the umpire's found a free kick. He's copping a bit of attention. Is King as Matey for the Dogs. Kicks out wide, trying to find Kitching. He's met by Byrne. The stick gets amongst the action. The Dogs have gained some valuable yards. Ball the 40 up. Just forward to True, centre wing out of side, favouring the Dogs. 53 plays, 26. CMV Truck and Bus scoreboard.
Okay, let's have a look. On the flank, Kelly. Well, no one contested that from the Bulldogs. Very poor. Then Baker on the boot, bouncing in forward. Hillary for the Tigers gets it off to Lucas Conlon and then just thumps it outside 50. Quickly on the boot with a torp. Bouncing ball, O'Hara off the deck. Johnson, that's brought to ground by some Tigers. Wrapped up. So 53 plays 26. The Tigers up on the CMV Truck and Bus scoreboard. We're gone 17 minutes on the Macca's time clock, second term.
I think the difference in this quarter here, boys, is Wodonga, they're still not using the footy great, but they're halving the contest. They're kicking the 50-50s. They're not directly turning it over to the opposition. So that's been a positive outlook this quarter for Wodonga.
Free kick's going to go the way of the Tigers here. I can't quite make out what for, but Alex Jones is the recipient, and he goes to O'Hara. A true centre half back, kicks inboard. It's a nice kick to Conlon, who marks a long way from home. In fact, it's Heiner Hennessy who kicks in the Conlon direction, bring it to ground level. The Bulldogs need to provide some support. Greenhill shovels the ball backwards. Heiner's got to be clean, taken without the footy, and that's clever work from Joel Heiner. Saw the pressure was coming, absorbed the tackle, and in the end is the recipient of the free kick deep in the pocket for the Dogs.
Gus McLeod calling it perfectly for McRae Motors. Oh, gee, look at this for a dangerous kick. Bouncing ball, so Morrison's got to go. Hodgson goes in for the Tigers. And then coming from the other side, Greenhill wrapped up. Muller just swamps him. And the umpire is going to call for it. So 53 plays 26. The Tigers up. Let's have a look at this contest. Let's see if they can sort out a clearance here. Muller down at ground level again. He's at 1,000 hit-outs. Well, that's what it seems like. Mathy, Heine Hennessy. Players tearing in for the pill. Not coming out of there. And the umpire, again, is going to call for it as we go back down to Kylie King, the Mayor of Albury, boundary side for the Newmarket.
Yeah, and I guess it's just that skill error, isn't it, that Jordan Taylor was talking about. That kick out there, not good, and now they're under pressure again.
Kelly inside 50, and the ball just bounces out the back of the pack across the face for a minor score. 8-6-54. The Albury Tigers have been prolific in front of goal. To the Wodonga Bulldogs, who were just starting to tinker their way back into this contest for CMV Truck and Bus. They're 4-2-26. They come long down the line.
Yeah, that's out on the full.
Well spotted by Kylie King for the Newmarket Hotel. Hillary's got, in fact, it's Hodgson who has Sharon in hand. Right in front of the Wodonga Bulldogs club rooms, and I reckon there's a fair bit of advice being given to young Brighton. Some of it you can hear through our special effects mic as Gaynor. He marks and kicks inside forward 50. Not the best kick. O'Hara made a good contest. Soroczynski had to beat Garlett. Didn't quite do so. Jeff tied up in the pocket. Kick was smothered off the boot. You thought something special was going to happen there. It's a boundary throwing deep in the pocket for the Albury Tigers. They lead 8-6-54. The Dogs 4-2-26. 20 minutes gone for Wodonga Pumps and Mowers in the second term.
Who was that man down there, Kylie?
Oh, I could dob him in, but
okay.
I better not.
Let it go, yeah. Soroczynski gets it back. Bulldogs coming out again. Gee, they've been pretty darn ordinary by foot today. Yelling got swung around. Mathy tearing through like the Bulldog he almost is himself. Deneen trying to get it to Chessa, working in tight. Out the back, Wilding slipped over to Crucial Stage or Hillary. Mathy picked it up though. Here's Garlett for the Tigers. Yellow and black on the boot, sends it back. Baker's there for the Bulldogs. Gee, that's a wonderful mark. That is an elite body paint mark of the day, and they move it to the other side. Spiteri and also Jacob Conlon, who puts it on the boot, sends it forward. It's gone out of bounds on the full Dan Vaccaro.
Yeah, we just saw Angus Baker there get his 6th touch for the quarter. That was an unbelievable mark. It was a really wet footy and it was high, and it was just, he took it so clean. What a fantastic player he is, Lukey.
2-point lead to the Rovers over the Pigeons around the grounds, Binglee, and back here at the Martin Park. Ball's in the hands, I think, of O'Brien. Is it, boys, or is it Jake Page?
Page.
Jake Page. He's got the footy on the outer side, Lukey, and there's a big maroon pole that just impedes our vision here a little bit.
Yeah, you have.
So I will lose him during his approach.
You've got a big pile on there.
Well, we're not going to approach because he's going to penetrate the ball into the pocket, and the mark's been taken by Riley Bice in front of the CMV Truck and Bus scoreboard, and this will favour the left footer beautifully.
Really poor defence there by Wodonga. Ollie Greenhill was about 4 or 5 metres off his man there, and he just stumbled into the pocket and got a shot.
Bice arcs around, strikes it nicely, strikes it beautifully. Sunjan goal today from Riley Bice. We mentioned it favoured the left footer, and the Dogs need to tighten up in defence. Riley Bice, he's just playing some game of footy. He kicks his second. In fact, it's his third for Riley. And the Dogs are kicking, the Tigers are kicking away. CMV Truck and Bus scoreboard 60-26. Tell you what, I reckon she's almost all over.
It's looking pretty grim at the moment. That was really poor defending there by Wodonga, as I said. Really loose. That's real basic coaching there that JT will be so frustrated at, is when you have a shot on goal that's about 58, you've got to be on your man.
Yeah, beautiful goal from Riley Bice to the hospital end. Swung it around his body. Gaynor in the middle, got it to Garlett. Garlett tears onto it and now fakes and then puts it on the boot. It was an ordinary kick. Greenhill put it down. Ball at ground level. Johnson spits it out to Yellen, then on to Spiteri, who kicked the goal earlier this quarter. Misses Gaynor, so almost a turnover. Flips it out the side. Jorgensen tears in. Muller again, the big man. Out to Elliot Powell. Now to Gaynor. Left foot. Heine Hennessy has it just outside the arc of the 50s, probably just out of range. She'd have to give it everything, and then goes in short, shocking. Johnson back there in the hole in front of Conlon, and they play on the Bulldogs.
Gee, they've been poor exiting defensive 50. Big Driscoll had to get his fingernails dirty to mark that one, and that kick's not much better. Works out okay for Mathy, but he's met head-on by 5 Tigers, and they pounce on the lone Bulldog. Handball goes backwards for the Tigers. Elliot Powell has time at true centre wing. He's met by a bit of defensive pressure, so he goes to Lucas Conlon, out to Byrne, who goes to the right boot, long down the line. Bice flew high, brought it to ground level, kicked long by O'Brien, in towards the direction of Grills. He's met by Wilson. Wilson handballs inboard to Mimo. He was okay. The Dogs uncharacteristically panicking as the ball goes towards half forward. Wilding dropped the chest mark. Jorgensen comes through. They've got a number on the outer side. They've got two of them, one of whom is Johnson. Now he links up with Soroczynski, who's met nicely by O'Hara. True centre wing broadcast side. Soroczynski chips over the top to Yelland. Pushed in the back by Jake Gaynor, the umpire said, and the Dogs have got a very important chance here, Lukey, to go inside 50. They're going to have to make this one count. The man who's got the footy is Jack Yelland on debut for the Dogs.
That is absolutely 100% correct, Gus McLeod. They need to make the most of this chance. So Ma into Baker. Let's have a look. So they shift it to the outer side. So here comes Greenhill. Can they get a mark inside 50? It's going in now over the head of Wilson. He got one hand to it. Now this is Jesse Wilson. So that was Matt, who couldn't quite take the mark. Touched. Lucas Collins claiming out of the pack. What's going to happen? So the umpire's conferring.
Did it go through the big sticks?
It did. It went through the big
so
sticks.
Was this touched? It was touched. So Lucas Conlon claiming it, and it was one behind on the CMV truck and bus scoreboard, Dan Vaccaro.
Yeah, and just the little things you pick up there with that drop mark there by Matt Wilson. Noah Spateria would have fallen in his lap behind him, so they've got to use their voice and really try and get that mark inside 50. Albury don't make that mistake.
60 plays 27, CMV truck and bus. Lucas's Conlon's kick was intercepted by Spiteri, who kicks in board. And the stick. Big Jewel, he marks out in front. He chips into the pocket, dangerous to Baker, and Baker marks the footy as we've got a special delivery. Live on air, sandwiches and slice. See the Bulldogs look after us here at the kennel. Thank you, mate.
Especially for the broadcasters, are the best ones on the radio.
We're the best on the radio, he said. I didn't make that up and I didn't pay him to say it. Thanks to the Bulldogs for bringing up some halftime snacks. And Angus Baker, he's got the footy in hand, boys. Must kick goal.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been superb today. This is his 17th touch.
He's kicking to the Pierce Street end. Baker's kick has missed. Jeez, costly miss for the Wodonga Bulldogs. 32-point lead to the Tigers, and Duncan, he plays on nicely and he finds Bryden Hodgson.
Gee, what about those sandwiches, Gussie? Hey?
Well, you boys won't be getting much because I'll be having a fair crack at this. Okay. Zucchini slice as well.
Oh, leave that one for me, Gussie.
Conlon off to Hodgson. Virtually just inside defensive 50. They get it out now, and then the ball is taken out of bounds. So as the sun tries to peek through again at John Flower Oval, round 8, it is the Tigers 60, leading the Bulldogs 28 as we work up towards the long break. 26 gone on the Macca's time clock. Kylie, how are things down there now on ground level thanks to the new market?
Oh, look, I'm just hanging out with the little leaguers here. The young Bulldogs are about to get out and put on a halftime show for us.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Dogs are a bit stiff there. They were going inside forward 50 and the Hooter beat them to it. Half-time at the kennel, the Tigers, they lead 9-6-60 to the Bulldogs, 4-4-28. A big second quarter for Wodonga Pumps and Mowers has come to a close, and on the other side of the break, it's the half-time wrap. O&M Live on 1494 2AY. Dan Vaccaro, Kylie King, Luke Francis and myself. Gus McLeod on 1494 2AY, where you won't miss a thing.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
Pain or injury can stop you from living life to the fullest. Albury Wodonga Private Hospital specialises in advanced orthopaedic services and offers a full range of care from diagnosis to surgery and rehabilitation. Get back to the life you love with our support.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where students come first. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go for it with GoTAFE.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything.
Rewrite the rules. Carlton Zero.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? And meditation? One for sport? And one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
GoTAFE is hiring, and we want you on our team. Flexibility, professional development, generous remuneration, and a staff wellbeing program are just a few of the great benefits we offer. If you have a passion for your skill or qualification and you're looking for real work-life balance, then GoTAFE is the place for you.
GoTAFE is leading,
Inspiring.
hands-on,
Flexible. Fabulous.
We have dozens of trainer positions and corporate roles open right now. Get in touch today.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend, we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
Street Albury.
O&M Live on 2AY.
Certainly is O&M Live at the halftime break. The Tigers, they hold a strong lead. They lead by 6 goals, 60 plays, 28 on O&M Live. Halftime for Elders Rural. Gus McLeod's my name, joined by Luke Francis, Dan Vaccaro and Kylie King not too far away from rejoining the call team. Boys, talk us through what you've seen in the first half.
For the Tigers, Gussie, it's been an absolute dream half. For the Bulldogs, Dan, an absolute nightmare half. They have been... They just started the game so well, the Tigers, so clean. Yep. They were on. Everyone's sharp, good ball movement. Winning it firstly, and the Dogs virtually denied the ball almost in the first term, and then when they did eventually get their hands on it, they couldn't do anything with it. They turned it over and looked very scrappy.
You hit the nail on the head, Lukey. They've just been so poor this half. I guess they had that 10-minute period there where they managed to get themselves back into the game for the second half. Wodonga, the most important thing they've got to do now is forget that happened. They found themselves 32 points down. There's a way back in for them, but they've got to change the way they're playing. They've got to try and get the game on their terms. The goal is to chip away at it. They've got to get sort of that 2 goals back into that contest this quarter, 2-3, get it to that 3 or 4 goal margin at 3-quarter time and see what they can conjure up in the last quarter. They've got themselves in a terrible position by poor ball movement and by poor ball use as well, boys.
Goal kickers in the first half for the Albury Tigers, 3 to Jacob Conlon and Riley Bice, singles to Garlett, Ben Kelly and Tom O'Brien. Whilst for the Bulldogs, a goal to Noah Spiteri, 1 to Jack Chessup, and a double to Oscar Wilding. Dan Vaccaro, 40-wing stat sheet. What are the big numbers early stages at the halfway point of this game?
Yeah, well, for Wodonga, I guess the big ball winners at the moment is Josh Matthew. He's had 14. Angus Baker's been Wodonga's best by an absolute street, so he's up to 16 as well. Everyone else, Matt Wilson's only had the 6 touches, Jorgensen 7, Tom Johnson 7 as well, and the stat sheet for Albury have sort of dried up in the second quarter. Elliot Powell's only had the 1 touch that quarter, so he's only up to 7 for the game as well. Riley Bice as well, he's only had the 8 for the half, and he had 7 in the first, so really, really kept quiet.
So that tag that Kylie mentioned at quarter time
100% has worked, so that's probably a positive sign for Wodonga that some of their methodologies that JT's putting to them are starting to work in that second half. Definitely not the case for Isaac Muller. He's had 11 touches and God knows how many hit-outs. He would have had 30 hit-outs that half. So he has just been unbelievable form as well.
What are your thoughts? Obviously, the Bulldogs, they're going to win this game of footy. Luke, they're going to have to try something different. And for mine, what I'd like to see is Jack Chesser go to full forward and play really deep. Because I feel like where the Bulldogs are getting broken down is the Albury Tigers' defensive zone behind the footy. When we see a stoppage, when we see the ball in natural play inside forward 50 or just outside of forward 50 for the Bulldogs, or for the Tigers, I should say. The Tigers' back six just set up with this fantastic zone, and the ball was getting chopped out and intercepted every single time across half forward. I really think the Bulldogs are going to get their tools up the ground and start making a few more contests on the wing and stop allowing blokes like Jesse Wilson, like Jacob, Lucas Conlon, I should say, Bryden Hodgson, Hamish Gilmore. Stop allowing these guys to intercept or at least make big spoils between the two arcs.
Yeah, you're 100% right, Gussie. And since Albury got off to that great start, it's so easy to implement your structure and how you want to play, and that's exactly what Albury have done. They've literally just set up a wall, and Wodonga haven't reacted fast enough. They keep having dual stick coming out of the square, where, as you said, if you truck sort of Jack Cheshire and Noel Spiteri deep, they'll create unpredictability because they're elusive small forwards, and those big forwards like Jewel can sort of go up to that midway point where Albury have set up that wall, bring it to ground, and they can get the crumbs forward to those guys.
Yeah, it's so important that they get something out of this game, the Wodonga Bulldogs, because a win at this point in time looks out of reach. But like you said, Gus, and you pointed out in the call, Tigers were just free here in a contest down on the flank, and all the Bulldogs had to do was sag off and man up. They didn't. They were just setting up a wall, the Tigers, and it looked obvious to us. Gus McLeod called it out perfectly. Just not smart footy at the moment. They're right off their game.
The Bulldogs look to be bees to a honeypot at present, and the Tigers look to really hold their structures, and they're happy to sit 4 or 5 kicks behind the play. Really evident on one piece of play. The Bulldogs had the football. They regathered possession in their defensive 50. They bombed it long down the line, and Elliot Powell got his hands on the footy on the outside true centre wing. Now, the pressure came, but Elliot knew that he had a handball short behind him. That was Lucas Conlon. Lucas Conlon then knew as soon as he received the footy that he had a kick on the lateral right behind him, and these Bulldogs players had been sucked up the ground, and all of a sudden they had a chance to make a 50-50, make a stoppage. Well, the Tigers just walked their way out of it, knowing that the Dogs aren't setting up properly.
And the one thing that I really love about Albury, and they're the best team at it, is that they don't have a specific game plan where they, like Wodonga were turning their heads that half, because the first 4 or 5 goals of the game, Albury would go hard and fast through that middle of the ground, but then they can sit back and then they can go, okay, well, let's go around the wing this time. And Wodonga are so slow to react to it in that first half. Albury will literally be able to pick the route that they wanted to go, and that became really frustrating for Wodonga. And Wodonga really need to take a leaf out of their book. Well, hold on. If Albury can be unpredictable to go up the middle and up the side, we need to do the same, and we need to try and figure out how they're going to do it. The one thing that's for certain is Wodonga are going to have a chance that second half to get back into the game. There's no doubt. They're a good enough team. They're going to have a look at it in the second half. They're going to get it back to that sort of 4 or 5 goals. I'm really confident. It's how they're going to do it and how they're going to be able to make the most of their opportunities, I guess, Lukey.
Around the grounds for Bingley on our sister station, 15-6, 3-E. The Rovers lead 6-3-39 to the Yarrawonga Pigeons, 4-8-32. The McNamara Reserve, slow start for the Alpine Saints. They trail 1-4-10 to the Magpies, 8-8-56. The Lavington Panthers lead 5-9-39 to 4-4-28. So that game's a little bit closer. And some netball scores around the grounds. Full time, the Wangara Magpies have defeated the Alpine Saints by 1 goal, the barest of margins in the second versus third clash there. The Raiders have beaten the Lavington Panthers by a single goal. And, of course, Yarrawonga have done a fair number on the Wangaratta Rovers, 73-43. And for Ray White Rural, we're about to cross to Ree Delahenty and Tamara Matthews to give us a full-time wrap-up in our O&M Live match of the round between the Albury Tigers and the Wodonga Bulldogs. For Ray White Rural and Livestock, James Brown and the team, over to Ree and Tam for the netball wrap.
This is the netball wrap-up thanks to Ray White Rural. Today's game saw us watching Wodonga Bulldogs playing host to the Tigers. The Tigers too strong for the Bulldogs, 66-45. Lily Howe in goal shooter for the Tigers was on song. I think only 3 or 4 misses for the game, Tam. We gave her our player of the day.
Yeah, she was really strong, and I think Wodonga tried several defenders to try and shut her down, and she was just too strong on the day.
Through the mid-court, Gabe McRae, really consistent, and in defence, Brigida Singy and Neve Thorne were really good as well. And for the Bulldogs, the shooting combination of Mathy and French is really building, and their attacking mid-court really rotated through. In other games, it looks like Wangaratta Magpies have taken a one-goal lead over the Myrtleford Alpine Saints. The lead there we watched kept ebbing and flowing during the game, so not much spared there. And as well, Raiders coming from a 4-goal deficit at three-quarter time. It looks to have taken a 1-goal win over the Panthers. So Jodie House and the Raiders girls will be really, really happy with that win. And the Yarrawonga Pigeons just taking a really big and comprehensive win against the Wang Rovers. So next week takes us to Albury Tigers and Lavington. So it will be an absolute cracker, and we can't wait. Round 9 action next week, but this has been round 8 thanks to Ray White Rural.
A comprehensive wrap from Ree Harris as the half-time break comes to an end for Elders Rural. It's O&M Live, and on O&M Live, you won't miss a thing. Thank you.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
Pain or injury can stop you from living life to the fullest. Albury Wodonga Private Hospital specialises in advanced orthopaedic services and offers a full range of care from diagnosis to surgery and rehabilitation. Get back to the life you love with our support.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where students come first. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go for it with GoTAFE.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything.
Rewrite the rules. Carlton Zero.
R08 Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? And meditation? One for sport? And one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
GoTAFE is hiring, and we want you on our team. Flexibility, professional development, generous remuneration, and a staff wellbeing program are just a few of the great benefits we offer. If you have a passion for your skill or qualification and you're looking for real work-life balance, then GoTAFE is the place for you.
GoTAFE is leading,
Inspiring.
hands-on,
Flexible. Fabulous.
We have dozens of trainer positions and corporate roles open right now. Get in touch today.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend, we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
Got a big battle on their hands. They trail the Tigers 9-6-60 to 4-4-28. Dan Vaccaro's on the 40-wing stat sheet. Kylie King's just lapping up the Sunshine boundary side for the Newmarket Hotel. My name's Gus McLeod from McRae Motors. Luke Francis is my co-caller this afternoon. Umpires dotting his I's, crossing his T's, holds the Sharon aloft. And for Indigo Power, we're underway in the third term on O&M Live between the Bulldogs and the Tigers.
Let's see what the Dogs have got. They're down by 32 points. Gaynor came out of the middle. Jake got it on the boot and sent it up to the arc. Matt Wilson comes out and takes it a good mark and then plays on to Yellen. So the Bulldogs have a defensive 50 on to Baker. Sun comes out here in Wodonga and then moves it back to Spiteri. So they're linking up well here. This is a lot better than what we saw in the first half. Down the line, nice mark. So Kay Brown takes it. Cactus Brown, this is Gussie.
The Cactus.
The Cactus. And he goes in to Jorgensen. Yeah, that was an ordinary kick. So that's where the skills have let them down. Gaynor. And then out wide now to Grills. Hand pass over the top to Heine Hennessy. Yellow and black. Now retreat back to Grills. Another one. Losing ground to King. King on the boot going forward. Conlon over his head. And then the Bulldogs through Gus Jones. Out the back to Baker. On to Matt Wilson. And they find Driscoll.
So Big Drisk. He won the Wodonga Bulldogs Wimbledon final last week. Did Big Drisk.
Right.
Of course, the Wimbledon party's a pretty popular one these days. Johnson slips. Gee, poor kick there from the Dogs. That was ordinary from Greenhill. Jesse Wilson intercepts, trying to find Bice, and the ball goes out of bounds for a boundary throw-in for the Newmarket Hotel. Kylie King. The footy looks to be a little bit wet despite the fact the sun's shining.
Definitely, definitely a little wet, boys, and I think a little bit of skill effort errors there really highlighted that.
Wet pill, Luke Francis. You can't do much about that.
That's it, Gussie. That's right. So back in, Yelland. Well, pounced upon by King. Umpire, how's he see it? Dump tackle, Dan Vaccaro. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was there. Look, all footy around the country slamming down on that rule, but Jack Yellen, he's had a really good game. As he goes to Angus Baker there.
Yeah, first up for the Bulldogs today, Baker on to Mimo. So they're going direct here. And now they push it out wide. So, Sam Gill got a terrible bounce. Lucas Conlon mops up, off to Hodgson. And he steers one, 20-metre kick. Heine Hennessy, one bite at it. Kane to ground level. And he's caught from behind holding the ball. Good decision from the umpire. So the Bulldogs need to build on this. And this is Yellen. He started a third term well. Goes long to a pack over the back. Welding on the boot. Bouncing towards goal.
He's got it, Lukey.
Yes, he has, Gussie. Yes, he has. So 60 plays 34. And that makes it 3 for Wilding. So that's on the Inspirations Paint scoreboard. Macca's time clock has gone. We'll just wait for that to spring back up on the scoreboard as we go back to Dan Vaccaro for 40 weeks.
Yeah, what a really good finish there by Oscar Wilding. And we mentioned Jack Yellen in his first game. What a positive start to this quarter. So they've got the first inside 50. Angus Baker, he's already touched the footy twice, and Matt Wilson as well, respectively. So positive start for Wodonga.
Very
Certainly
good.
Is. So a bit of a human error. I forgot to start the clock, Lukey. So she's +3 than what our clock's reading here at present. 3 minutes gone, and the Bulldogs have got the first goal of the third term for Inspirations Paint. 34-60. 50-metre penalty here is going to go the way of Jake Gaynor.
Oh, no.
That really hurts, boys. Such a positive start for Wodonga. And they give away, I believe, an undisciplined 50-metre penalty. So really disappointing.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Jack O'Sullivan, Wodonga Bulldogs player, tuning in from home this afternoon. Of course, is out crook. Ball's in the hands of Jake Gaynor for the Albury Tigers. This will test the right footer for distance. Gives it everything he's got, Jakey. And it's across the face for a minor score. Jake's got 2 minors for the Albury Tigers. And the third term's underway for Indigo Power. Football comes back into play, and it's with Duncan, Luke.
It is. So Duncan picks it up. Gussie, right foot, swings it around. Matt Wilson sitting back there in the hole, wants to move it quickly, gets it to Angus Baker. And they've got a man free out on the outer side. They get him now, and that's Kay Brown over the top to Wilding. And Wilding is away, so this delivery should be good. I tried to have a bounce on the wet deck. Didn't come back to him. Now he gets it back, sends it in forward. Lucas Conlon, poor delivery. Sam Jewell well behind. Dan Vaccaro, that was really bad from the Wodonga Bulldogs.
Oh, that's shocking, boys. Like Jewel Stick had about 10 metres of space running into that 50, and he just completely stuffed it up.
Just a breakdown of communication. Stick wanted it over the top. Oscar wanted him to hit up. The Dogs under the pump as the Tigers exit defensive 50. The Bulldogs have numbers. Cactus Brown inside 50. There's the big stick. He marks that one on the give and go. Handball from Baker over the top. Into the pocket. Josh Mathy goes bang! 2 in a row for the Dogs. 42 plays 61. Game on here on O&M Live. And the Bulldogs have started the third term for Indigo Power with a bit of a vengeance.
Absolutely, Gus. You absolutely nailed it. And what a finish there by Josh Mathy. Probably a little bit lucky to turn it around so quickly. I think Jules Stick probably should have gone back and assessed his options a little bit more, but what a great finish by Josh Mathy. He's an unbelievable player. He's kicked 1 goal and he's had the 16 touches for the game. So him alongside Baker are really steering this Wodonga ship back to where they belong, Lukey.
Kylie King for the Newmarket boundary side. Well, I don't know where this was in the first half, Kylie, but they seem to have turned up now, the Doggies.
Oh, they have, and the crowd's up and about as well. Cassidy's just run on for the Doggies, so hopefully he'll keep up the momentum for them as well.
So Gaynor got it to O'Hara, out of the middle. Here he goes, Braden, and then, kick smothered by Mathy. Brown for the Bulldogs, gets it out to Baker. So they're linking up okay now, but then looping hand pass. Matey's got to go again. Duncan wins it for the Tigers. On the right boot. Tried to get Heine Hennessy, but Matt Wilson comes in and chops it off. And he wants a corridor kick, and they're out here. Jorgensen picks it up. Now, what's he got on forward? He goes in. Jill Stick. Yep. Arc of the 50. Swings around. 60 from home. Goes in. Wilding through his mitts. And Wilson mops up. Gets it back to Grills. The Tigers might get out of trouble here.
Yeah, Hillary exits D50. All on his own is Riley Bice. And it looks like the tag's coming from Joel Heiner. He played that role for Denarang last year in the TDFL, and Bice's kick inboard's not the best. Jorgensen was clean. Inboard to Baker onto Mathy. And here comes Soroczynski in the guts. Kicks out wide. Trying to find Spiteri at half forward. Went the one-handed bite of the cherry. Couldn't bring it to ground. Wilson back towards Hodgson, who chips over the top. It's a well-weighted 9-iron. Inboard, the Tigers come. And here comes Big Isaac Muller. Izzy kicks long down the line to a contest. Daly lets the footy bounce. Tracks it now against Deneen. The boundary line is where Deneen wants to go. And that's a desired result. Right in front of Mimo. Filming the action today for Optus O&M TV. Hope you're enjoying the coverage with Luke Chilcott pushing the buttons back at O&M Live HQ for Optus O&M TV. We're back away in the middle, and here's Isaac Muller.
Muller, and then partially smothered, ground level. Yellen goes in. Umpire's going to call for it. Dan Vaccaro, how's our inside 50s now looking early in the third term here for 40 weeks?
Albury have 1 more, so 5 inside 50s to 4, but it's a really even contest early, Luke.
Yep. Johnson O'Hara falls his way. High ball going forward. Heine Hennessy in a one-on-one. Big pack goes up. Gaynor up against Greenhill. Jake got one around the chops, and he'll take the free kick here. So 61 plays 40. Inspirations Paint scoreboard. Jake Gaynor with the ball. Powder blue boots goes deep to the pocket. No one marking up Heine Hennessy. I don't know if they're just going to allow that one, Dan. What were your thoughts?
Oh, they're letting themselves down in that area, Lukey. They can easily just play man-on-man in that situation, and albeit a tough shot.
Heine Hennessy misses Bice, and then a strong tussle back there. Ball going to ground. Umpire is going to call for it close to the goal square at the Pierce Street end, Gussie, and we've gone about 5.5 Macca's time clock third term.
Deep in the pocket, Johnson happy to tap it across the face for a minor score. The Tigers want to appeal for that one, but they're not going to get it. Minor score going the way of the Albury Tigers. Playing on from fullback is Baker. Put him down for a 40 winks disposal.
6 touches in 8 minutes, boys.
And Mayfield give him one as well. Bumped into Tommy McGrath from 40 winks earlier on. Good afternoon to you, Tommy, tuning in from home. As the Dogs have the footy across half-back. Coming in board was Cassidy. Dangerous kick. Muller got a crucial fingertip onto O'Hara. Luke Daly feeds it out wide. Heiner Hennessy went the don't argue and he got poleaxed by Big Mitch Deneen. Elite body and paint player of the day. And that's the spark the Dogs are looking for. But the kick is not what they're after. Turned over in the guts. Here's Isaac Muller for the Tigers.
Yeah, Gussie, tackle was fantastic. Kick not so good. Muller goes forward. Heiner Hennessy marks it, and he's met by Deneen again. But Heiner Hennessy has the ball down. He'll have a shot from probably about 48 out if he wants it to the Pierce Street end on the broadcast side.
And it hasn't. It's been a product of Wodonga's play today. Mitch Deneen, an unbelievable effort there to get the hold on the ball, but a really poor kick to Muller, and he's going to make you pay every day of the week.
Yeah, so this would really sting. The Tigers looking at their 10th. They lead by 22 points, I should say, at the moment. We're almost gone 7 minutes on the Macca's time clock. Let's have a look. Colby Heiner Hennessy, yellow and black Guernsey. Nah, that's not going to go at all. That might even be out on the full, is it? Let's have a look.
Yeah, over the points,
it's out on the full. So the Bulldogs will get it back, Gussie, in the back pocket at the Pierce Street end.
They certainly will. And it's a dangerous kick in board. Baker had to show strong mitts against Elliot Powell.
7 touches this quarter already for Baker.
Kicks out wide. It's a nice looking kick. So they're playing methodical football. Now the Bulldogs going to look to slow things down. They go long down the outer side. Jesse Wilson flies across a 3-on-1. Not the kick. The Tigers have it now via O'Brien. Kicks, finds a teammate, Conlon, too far to score. In towards the pocket goes Jacob. Big contest flies. Driscoll flew across the pack, and I reckon he's a little bit slow to get up here, boys. He might have had the wind sucked out of him. In fact, he hasn't got up at all, as Michael Driscoll, and so we'll get Kyler to keep an eye on that one for the Newmarket Hotel.
That's a shocking trickle along there by Joel Heiner. He had a clear uncontested mark, and he's just dropped it over the line. Inexcusable mistake by Wodonga.
Rightio, it's a boundary throw in. Johnson and Muller. In a great tussle, Muller still wins it. Mimo came through, got a right hand to it. Bice picks it up, swung around in a Mimo tackle. And the umpire is going to call for it again. So again, another stoppage here. Third term, 8.5 gone on the Macca's time clock. And we've got the Tigers up by 23 points. Brown, and then tearing through Garlett. Left foot snap. This will be a Sunjan goal the day it is. That is an absolute beauty and a double for Jeffy. So they get out again. So that's a 29-point lead for the Tigers on the Inspirations Paint scoreboard. Macca's time clock's gone 8:40 in the third term. Let's go to Dan Vaccaro on the 40-wing stat sheet.
Really good finish there by Jeffy Gartlett. He was fantastic there. He just crumbed the ball and did what he had to do, and that's a real stinger in the guts for Wodonga playing so well this quarter, and Jeffy Gartlett just brings it back out to the 28-point lead.
I think my watch is a bit slow, Gussie. How am I going for time clock?
That's all right. 12 minutes gone. Macca's time clock. Kylie King, Newmarket Hotel. Michael Driscoll, he looked very ginger off the back of that contest.
Yeah, he did. He's getting some treatment for his left hammy. So, yeah, hopefully that's all it is, just a bit of a tweak.
I thought he got winded, so interesting to see it's the hammy that's gone. Back in the centre, free kick and a whistle for a dump tackle is going to go the way of Deneen, who's gone into the ruck. And he feeds the ball to Jorgensen. Right foot kicks a chiseler, and it's a good one. Hit the chest of Cassidy. And the umpire said Cassidy had a chance to get rid of the footy, and he did so illegally as Jesse Wilson gathers possession for the Tigers. Finds Heiner Hennessy, 75 from home. Kicks inboard. Bice back of the pack. Soccer towards the boundary line and out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. The Tigers lead 10-9-69 to the Bulldogs 6-4-40. It's on the Inspirations Paint scoreboard.
Here we go. Let's have a look. The Bulldogs need to win this clearance. And time's running out in this footy game. Muller over the top to Bice, and then out to Elliot Powell, left foot, sends it in forward. Jacob Conlon bounces just before him. Morrison right on his tail though. Ball spits out the back. Morrison in a fight again with it with Jacob Page. Did well, Charlie Morrison. Off to Cade Brown, swings, completely run down by Page. Unawareness terrible. And then Jacob Conlon on the boot. King, second attempt at it. Matt Wilson off the ground. Ball rolling, and it finds the chalk of the Pierce Street end. Far side, Macca's time clock's gone 13.5 on, well, the third term here, and the Inspirations Paint scoreboard sees the Tigers 29 points up, Dan Vaccaro.
Fantastic effort there by Charlie Morrison. He's just an absolute brilliant footballer.
Around the grounds, Binglee 51-39. Yarrawonga have hit the front against the Rovers, so we'll keep tabs on that game there. Of course, 59-35, Lavington over the Raiders. Back here at the Martin Park, umpire throws the footy aloft. Here's Jones, wrapped up by Heiner. Matey tries to gain some yards, but it falls the way of Michael Duncan. Jorgensen, got to be clean, tries to find Mimo. Wilson got nutmegged, back to Mimo, who kicks it on the boot, and Hodgson marks in the clay pot in the centre of the ground, kicks inside 50, and Jeffy is all alone, 35 metres out, directly in front. The Dogs got to be tighter than that.
Yeah, it's really good forward craft there by Albury. It looks like they put a little bit of body on the opponent of Jeff Garlett. Jeff Garlett was able to get space and mark that 35 metres out directly in front, Lukey.
Thanks, Dan. So it's Jeffrey to the Pierce Street end. For back-to-back goals, Jeff Garlett has got it. Dagger in the heart for the Wodonga Bulldogs. They've dominated the early stages of this third term. Josh Matey kicked the first, and Jeff Garlett's got back-to-back goals on O&M Live to see him up to 3. The Albury Tigers lead 11-9-75 to the Dogs, 6-4-40. Inspirations Paint.
Yeah, really good finish there by Jeff Garlett. He's not going to let that gun go. I mean, he was directly in front, but really poor there by Wodonga there. They were really good in the first 10 minutes of this quarter and have really let themselves down with their efforts in the last 5 minutes. And a really good finish there by Jeff Garlett.
Well, let's go back down to Kylie King for the Newmarket Suns. Good in the second half, Kylie.
Yeah, the sun's been great. Conditions are perfect, really, for footy. No doubt still a little greasy on the ground, though.
Jewel takes the mark, 60 out from home, spearing ball inside 50. Oh, gee, good tackle and pressure applied from Byrne. And the ball has gone out of bounds just left of the scoreboard there.
I feel like that kick there by Jewel, they had no one in that hole there for Oscar Wilde, and they could have kicked to a one-on-one directly in front. Instead, they go to the pocket. Really poor decision-making.
Yeah, wide to Chesser. Didn't suit him. Rightio. Back into play. Kelly. Jorgensen. Kelly again. Duncan just tried to shift it out to Byrne, but Matey broke away, got legged. Tripped. Yep. Umpire pays it. So he'll have a shot from about 35 out directly in front, this time to the hospital end, Dan Vaccaro.
Absolutely. Josh Matthew's been brilliant today. He's been one of the lone standers here for Wodonga, so he's going to have his 21st touch for the game, and he's just been absolutely fantastic along with Baker, and they just have a couple of passengers today, unfortunately.
75 plays 40 on the Inspirations Paint scoreboard. If the Dogs are any hope in this football game, Josh Matey has to kick a major here. Has to. Let's have a look. He's a wonderful player, this guy. He really is a star for the maroon and white. 35 out. In comes Josh, and he's got it. So he pumps them right up. He's got to. Gus McLeod signals. So let's have a look. Gee, well, what do you think, Gus? It'd be a very tough ask from here, wouldn't it? But at least this is giving them some hope.
It certainly is. Back-to-back goals in this quarter for Josh Matey to see the Inspirations Paint scoreboard read 46-75, favouring the Albury Tigers. The Wodonga Bulldogs have showed so many glimpses, Dan, but they just can't have hit the scoreboard well enough.
You're absolutely spot on. And as soon as they seem to sort of get the game on their terms, Albury bite back. So that's the disappointing thing for Wodonga. But they can come home hard at Martin Park, boys.
29-point ball game favouring the Tigers. Back in the middle, it's Elliot Powell, who goes inside forward 50. Heiner with a crucial touch. Garlett's going to win this foot race towards the boundary line, but he can't quite keep it in the field of play. Boundary throw-in midway through the third term for Indigo Power. Great to have them on board in season 2023. It's going to be Deneen to do battle with Isaac Muller on the ruck. Inside 50 for Albury.
Muller and Deneen virtually broke even. Alex Jones came through. O'Brien tried to get it to Gaynor, burrowing through. Heiner Hennessy, quick hands. Intercepted though by Jorgensen. He's brought to ground by Heiner Hennessy. And the umpire will have it. Rightio, Dan. What's our standout stat for the third term thanks to 40 Winks?
Well, you put me on the spot here, Lukey. I think the dominant display of inside 50s still from Albury. They're up to 10 inside 50s, and Wodonga have only had the 5. So Albury's still dominating the inside 50s, but Wodonga clawing back their lead.
Wilding, half-back flank for the Bulldogs. Tried an angling kick. Hodgson came through, stole it, and then goes inboard to Luke Daly. Oh dear, Gus. That was absolutely terrible from the Dogs. A bad turnover.
It certainly is. And the thing I noticed is in that set of play, the Albury Tigers were on the move. When Oscar Wilding looked to go inboard, there was no Wodonga Bulldogs players on their feet, no one making a lead. They had to go inboard to a dangerous kick, and because the Tigers were circulating, they were on the prowl, it allowed Bryden Hodgson to take 2 or 3 steps off his line, intercept, and provide silver service delivery inside 50.
Been the story all day, boys. Wodonga go forward, kick a goal, and Albury bite back.
Yeah, this has nearly stamped the papers. Luke Daly's got it, has he, for his Albury Tigers? Yes, he has. So 81 plays 46 on the Inspirations Paint scoreboard. Macca's time clock's gone 19 in the third term. Let's go back down to Kylie King for the Newmarket.
Yeah, Oscar Welding, you just feel for him. He just, as soon as he saw that kick and where it landed, he just turned, shrugged his shoulders and almost refused to watch the goal.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking stuff. They're really struggling to click into gear here. The Bulldogs, 81-46. Indigo Powers, third quarter on O&M Live. Muller brings it down to ground level. The Tigers have numbers. They fed it backwards, trying to find Elliot Powell. He's been quiet by his electric standards. They go back to Bryden Hodgson. Out of sight of the ground. King hasn't had a massive impact on the game, but he's taken his chances when they've come. He soccers the ball backwards. Here's a go for Baker. Comes inboard, dangerous. Long up and under kick go via the Dogs. Long down the line and back with courage. An ultimate fastener's tough. None of that A contender is Max Byrne. He intercepts to the Albury Tigers on the outer side wing. Kicks long down the line as Reece King finds his left boot. Kicking long down the line. Driscoll. Big fist. Spud Froy will be proud of that one. It's the second time he's done it today, Vax.
Absolutely. That's a fantastic smother there by Driscoll. He's been pretty solid today, Driscoll, but not as solid as this bloke, Angus Baker. He's up to 24 touches for the game. He's been Wodonga's best.
I don't reckon he's been as damaging today as what he normally is, though, boys. He's getting a lot of the footy, but isn't having the impact, perhaps. He needs some support around him.
It's probably a reflect with the support around him and the contest that Wodonga aren't taking the opportunities.
Muller, big fist out of the ruck. Ball at bootlace level. King tried to hack it away. Matt Wilson got brought down in a Wodonga Bulldogs tackle. Spits out to O'Hara. Swings it around. Left foot going in. Bouncing ball. Morrison got a fist to it. Garlett got taken off the ball. Umpire said play on. King holding the ball.
Looks the way of the Dogs, Luke.
It is. And they're moving it out this way to Cassidy, Gussie.
Who's been quiet. Across left half back, inboard. That's a better kick. Finds Marr. Well held up by Conlon of the Jacob variety. He kicks out wide.
Oh, that is
the worst. Sums up Wodonga's gate.
That's the worst.
Pressure. He misses his target by 10 metres. The Tigers go inboard. Page, too far to score. Arcs around, left foot kick. Kicks on goal across the face of the right-hand side for a minor score. 47-81, the Tigers lead, and Kylie for the Newmarket Hotel. Well, that kick from Jet Cassidy pretty much sums up Wodonga's day at the office.
Yeah, it does. And you see the body language starting to creep in a bit now. Hands on hip, shrugged shoulders. So it'll be interesting to see if they can sort of pick themselves up and put in hard contests after this little patch.
Yeah, so both teams coming into this game with a 5-1 win-loss record. Well, gee, they've been worlds apart this afternoon. Mimo's got it. Outside defensive 50. Pearce Street end. Good hit. Out wide to Jack Yelland. He's been good today. First game in a Bulldogs Guernsey. And then left foot down the line trying to find Jewell. Gets him. About 75 from home. On the forward flank. Hospital end. Now goes with a low spearing one. And they get it to Spiteri. And he goes in now to Chesser. And they will have a shot from probably about 30 out, 25-30. Dan Vaccaro, Hospital end. Let's see what he can do.
Really good hit-up lead there by Jewell, and he's offered that all quarter. And a really good kick to Noah, who was smart enough to turn around and hit up Jack Chesser. So good play by Wodonga, just unfortunately hasn't come often enough today.
Here goes Chesser. Jack with the Sharon. Can he steer it through? No, has gone through for one minor score. So 82 plays 47 on the Inspirations Paint scoreboard. Macca's time clock has gone 23 in the third term. Dan?
Yeah, disappointing miss there by Jack Chester. He's been pretty good today when the ball's gone up to 50, but he really needed to convert that to have any sort of slight chance in the last quarter.
Jake Gaynor in the back pocket finds Jimmy Grills. The pair played in a premiership for the Wagga Tigers in season 2020 in the Riverina Championship. Of course, in a year where there was no local football
And he's called
played
it 50.
in this part of the world. 50-metre penalty is going to go against. I reckon it's against the big stick or Oscar Wilding, in fact.
Oscar Wilding moved off the mark because he assumed play on, and the umpire didn't call it yet.
Grills to Gaynor. Inside 50. Conlon's the target. Bust the pack. Ben Kelly. Haven't seen much of Ben today from the first quarter. He gets another 40 winks disposal. Over the top, Deneen got taken high. Mayfield made a go of this for the Dogs. Pinballs around, spills out now. Baker shovels one back to Wilson. Got to be clean he is. Finds Morrison, whose kick was smothered on Tobias. Has a pot shot. And that's not your best, Riley. Out of bounds on the full, deep in the pocket for the Dogs. The Tigers 10-12-82. The Bulldogs 7-5-47. It's on the Inspirations Paint scoreboard at the 24-minute mark for Indigo Power.
Yeah, so we're working up towards a three-quarter time break, and have a look at that for a shocking kick. So Johnson coming out of defence has hit Alex Jones. And the man on the mark, he'll probably be about 37-38, Dan Vaccaro. So, again, another tale and story of their day.
It's just an absolutely shocking kick by Tom Johnson, and it's so out of character. He's a beautiful kick, and he plays that role off half-back because of his ball use, and that was just terrible. So, really paying for it today, Wodonga.
Alex Jones, always workmanlike for the yellow and black Guernsey. He's pushed that one across the face of goal, and that one's gone out of bounds of the full, in fact. No score. Kylie, we'll go back down to you on ground level 4, the Newmarket Hotel.
Yeah, not much to report here, boys. The crowd have sort of haven't been yelling much of late. They certainly love some of that tackle pressure that they had early on in this quarter, but it's definitely dropped away from the Bulldogs' perspective. And another crack for Albury towards goals and a miss.
Riley bites across the face for a minor score. Dan Vaccaro, 40 winks.
Not much to report for Wodonga Bulldogs, Gus. Only 6 inside 50s this
Well, give me
quarter.
something for Albury.
Albury Tigers, inside 50s 10, and they look to be dominating the game. They're not taking their chances. They probably should be a lot more up against Wodonga here.
They should be. Terrible kick from Yelland. Inboard. The Tigers just pounce. Here's a go. Alex Jones from 35 to the Pierce Street end. Goes bang, and it's across the face for a minor score. So the Albury Tigers just giving the Wodonga Bulldogs the smallest inch of hope. And Johnson's going to kick in from fullback, and he finds Wilson. 47-84, the Tigers lead for Indigo Power.
They've just been all out of sorts today, the Wodonga Bulldogs. Really in the doghouse. O'Brien, and then picking it up was Chesser. Tried to get it out to Jewel, missed him. Mimo tried to get it to Jorgensen, but the Tigers pinch it. This is Alex Jones searching for it at ground level. Nice tap up to Page. Then on to Hodgson. This side to Heine Hennessy. Let's have a look. What can they string together from here? Heine Hennessy short to Jake Gaynor. So right down in front of our broadcast position. We've got a wonderful view of this. Then on the boot, 30-metre kick, trying to find Page. Knocked out of bounds by Jack Yellen. Let's go back to Dan Vaccaro for 40 winks.
Wodonga would be so upset with that at the moment, as we just see Charlie Morrison going off. We might just cross to Kylie King if she can give us an update on that.
Kylie, you with us?
Lads.
Yep.
Oh, we just saw Charlie Morrison limp off the ground. We'll get you to keep an eye on that one.
No, he seemed pretty good once he got there. I'll keep an eye on him for you.
He looked a bit ginger, so hopefully he's okay. The skipper. The Dogs get the ball out wide via Ma, who kicks inboard. Jorgensen's got too much legs for Duncan. He got held out the footy. That was clever from Michael. Inside forward 50. Wilding just dribbles it towards the goal square. The ball's going to race Jesse Wilson, and he saves it on the line. In fact, he didn't. He took it across the face for a minor score. Umpires called it the play on here. And now there's a whistle. So I reckon the quick free kick. No, we're bringing the ball back. So it's across the face for a minor score. 48-84. The ball's in the hands at fullback for the Albury Tigers. They're going to kick in via Byrne. Long, high, up and under. As the siren sounds for three-quarter time at the kennel, the Albury Tigers too strong. Kicking 3 goals to 2 in that quarter to maintain a strong lead. 12-12-84 to the Bulldogs. 47 on the Inspirations Paint scoreboard. It's O&M Live. Big final quarter coming your way next, where you won't miss a thing.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
Pain or injury can stop you from living life to the fullest. Albury Wodonga Private Hospital specialises in advanced orthopaedic services and offers a full range of care from diagnosis to surgery and rehabilitation. Get back to the life you love with our support.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where students come first. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go for it with GoTAFE.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything.
Rewrite the rules. Carlton 0.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? And meditation? One for sport? And one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
GoTAFE is hiring, and we want you on our team. Flexibility, professional development, generous remuneration, and a staff wellbeing program are just a few of the great benefits we offer. If you have a passion for your skill or qualification and you're looking for real work-life balance, then GoTAFE is the place for you.
GoTAFE is leading,
Inspiring.
hands-on,
Flexible. Fabulous.
We have dozens of trainer positions and corporate roles open right now. Get in touch today.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
Mike's alive on 2AY. Come on, you fools, we're back on air. O&M Live, great to have your company at the Martin Park. Dan Vaccaro, Optus Quarters Best, your local Optus stores, Albury, Wodonga and Wangaratta.
On the stat sheet, probably Muller I thought was pretty good. He had a lot of hit-outs and had the 5 touches, but Hodgson I thought for Albury, just when Wodonga were going into attack, he was just in that back half, wasn't he? He just took probably about 4 or 5 marks just below that centre, and he was able to rebound him really quick, along with Jim Grills as well. For Wodonga, there's really not much to report except for Angus Baker. He's had 11 touches that quarter, so he's up to 27 for the game. Gus probably hit the nail on the head. He probably hasn't been effective as he has in weeks. I don't think that's through any fault of his own. I think that Wodonga to the contest and who he's kicking to, we just lost a bit of connection there, who he's kicking to hasn't really done their work, so I think he has still been very good, and Josh Matthey's had 21 and kicked 2. Apart from that, no one else.
Yeah, very good. Gussie.
Lukey, around the grounds for us, mate. You can give some scores for our good friends at Bingley.
Rightio, let's have a look. Well, here we go. 3/4 time, and the Rovers 71 plays 53, so 11-5-71. Yep, the Wang Rovers lead. The Yarrawonga Pigeons 7-11-53. The Myrtleford Alpine Saints trail in a big way. It is the Wang Maggies 56 leading Myrtleford 10, so 8-8-56. The Sainers. And in the other game, it is the Panthers up against the Raiders, and Lavington have got away a little on the Raiders. It is now Lavington 12-12-84 to the Raiders 7-6-48. Gus McLeod.
Certainly is. They're about to cross boundary side for the Newmarket Hotel. Kylie King, what do the coaches' addresses have in order at 3/4 time? We might have just lost Kylie there momentarily. Kylie, we'll get you to turn that mic on and off quickly, and we'll see if we can tap back in a second. I've just turned it off here in the studio, and we'll cross back now to Kylie King. Got us now, loud and clear. What do the coaches have to say at 3/4 time?
Look, I did hang in the Wodonga huddle, mainly just to sort of hear what the messages were, and pointed out that they had 28 uncontested. It was 28 uncontested possessions, for the Tigers in that first quarter, and they managed to stop them to 16 and 15 in the next lot. So basically the message from the coach is you're having more of the ball, the skill errors just not being quite what he'd like, but he's basically said don't worry about it. There's still plenty of fight left in this game. He just really wants them to celebrate the small wins, keep their heads up, look for their targets, and keep playing on. Was happy that they were able to shut down Riley Bice too in those last 2 quarters.
We're underway in the fourth term for Mac Jack Sheds with Luke Francis.
6 goals in it, 36 points lead to the yellow and black. Jones at ground level. Baker spat it out for the Bulldogs. And then coming through was Brown. Thought that was nearly a scoop. Off to Baker, then out this way to Mark, gets it on the boot, sends it to the half-forward flank, Wilding.
Got to be stronger.
Yeah, Gilmore just got rid of him, didn't he? And then to Bice, Greenhill for the Bulldogs. Cassidy got brought to ground, possibly in his back. Umpire said play on. Greenhill back to Marr, then on to Baker. Now they get an entry here. High ball going in. Let's have a look. Coming across Hodgson as he does so beautifully. And the Tigers have it in defence at the Pearce Street end.
Certainly does. Great to have Mac Jack Shed sponsoring the fourth term this afternoon. Quality steel protection with Mac Jack Sheds. And of course, on the Border Carpets scoreboard, 84 plays 48. Marting the team at Border Carpets do a fantastic job. You can find them in Wodonga, hence the name, Wodonga Border Carpets. The Tigers have the footy in the back line. They chip inboard to Wodonga. Wilson, left foot kick inboard. And that's the difference between the Tigers and the Bulldogs today. That inboard kick for the Tigers has been on a dime, and the Dogs, well, not so much. Up towards Grills, who marks true centre wing. Broadcast side, left foot kick, inboard, good courage. The Dogs went back courageously. Here's a go for Big Driscoll. On to Tommy Johnson. Low chiselling kick finds Yellen on debut.
Yeah, they come to Yellen's. He's got Spiteri on, and he has got an absolute country mile to work. Let's see what he can do. Short goes to Jules. Spiteri's running on. Look at him go. Puts the foot down. Jules doesn't want him, though. Burns him. Goes to the centering kick. Shocking.
Oh.
This has happened all day, and Tom O'Brien's taken the mark. Dan, that is bad O&M football.
That's almost inexcusable, that kick there by Jewel. He had a lot of space and a lot of options, and that was just really poorly executed.
They got to take the game on. It's as simple as that. And that tackle will help the cause. Jesse Wilson's been wrapped up. Is it Adam Jorgensen on the far side? I reckon it is, boys.
Yep.
And he's 55 from home, where the 50 arc meets the boundary line. Ordinary kick to put it nicely. Inboard towards Mimo. Back to Jorgensen. Inside 50. Not the best kick. In fact, I'll be brutally honest, it was an absolute stinker. The Tigers have numbers. Hodgson comes out broadcast side. Bice in a foot race. Got to be clean. Shovels it in front of himself. Support came from Greenhill in defence. On towards Heiner Hennessy over the top. The handball was superb. Didn't break stride. Bice inside 50, not the best kick. The Dogs have numbers. Exiting defensive 50. Bice got to go once again. Marr gets amongst the action. Matty Wilson, the man from Finley, back inboard. Long kick down the line from Chesser. Bounces inside the field of play. And now spills out of bounds in front of Kylie King for the Newmarket Hotel.
Yeah, so the pace has picked up nice and plenty, which is good, which is what you want to see. You want to see some brave contests if Wodonga are going to want to finish off on a bit of a high, then that's exactly what they need to do, and they're at it.
84 plays 48, Border Carpet scoreboard. We've gone just over 3 minutes on the Macca's time clock. Final term, Tigers with a very good lead. Wilson takes the mark in the headband. And then with the left foot, goes to Heine Hennessy, just bounces before him, gives up on the play, ball's gone out of bounds. And across the chalk here, left of centre wing on the broadcast side. Dan, what have you got early for us, final term on the 40-wing stat sheet?
Well, you can clearly see Wodonga are trying hard. They've had 3 repeat inside 50 entries, but again, poor execution. It's just been the story of the day, Lukey.
Boundary throw in. Muller got the tap, not quite to advantage. Spills around. Mayfield lurks around this contest. Muller provides some defensive work for the Tigers. Gaynor and Mayfield go at it, and the umpire says 50-50. We'll ball the footy up.
He's been in unbelievable form today, Josh Mayfield. He's really carried this team. 22 touches and 2 goals. And the debutant, Jack Yelland, has also been really good, boys. His numbers looking really good, and he's fought hard.
4.5 minutes gone. Macca's time clock. Here's a go for Ma. Off the back of the centre square. It was a poor disposal. Gilmore mops up. Spiteri gets the ball to Baker. The Dogs have possession with Mayfield. Mayfield's chip kick is just putrid. Bryden Hodgson intercepts to the Tigers and wants to play on and kick out wide. It's a beautiful looking kick, and he's got Jimmy Grills.
Yeah, gee, it was ugly football from the Bulldogs. Gus, terrible. And then Grills goes down to O'Hara, gets it just on the paint for the 50. Hospital end. Braden with the ball. He's taking his time. He winds up now. Oh, low. Look at that going in.
Worm burner.
It was. So low. And then comes out the back to Soroczynski for the Bulldogs. Gets it out wide. And this is Brown coming at it. Cade turns inside. And then gets it down the line now to Matt Wilson. Off he goes in the blue wheels. One bounce. Hillary's after him. Now gets his kick away. Matt Wilson. Spitteri's down there. Takes a good mark. Now plays on. So he's got a bit of time. Chips it over the top. And what's happened here?
Free kick off the ball. Umpires are meeting. I reckon he might have gone out of bounds here, boys.
Yeah,
the boundary umpire is running around to this one. And Noah Spiteri played on out of bounds, I think, is what the boundary umpire and the centre field umpire will convene and make a decision here, Luke.
Now, Gussie, I reckon that boundary umpire was about 2 Ks off the action.
Yeah, that's the thing that's disappointing, boys. The boundary umpire was on the other side of that old scoreboard. He would have ran 100 metres to get that
In
goal.
fact, he's paid out of bounds on the full, boys.
Okay.
There you go. Because the ball's in the hands of the Tigers. And they kick inboard, and Jesse Wilson, he's got a paddock of space. Duncan on the overlap, kicks long down the line. Soroczynski chops out nicely for the Dogs. Riley Bias thought it was a bit of a push in that one. Umpire said, Riley, you've had 3 goals, mate. Time to give the Dogs some footy. Driscoll, across half-back, inboard, back to Soroczynski. At true centre half-back, has to retreat and retreat dangerously. Ball goes to full-back, in the hands of Morrison. The captain's back on the ground, and he goes out to Greenhill. Greenhill comes inboard. Tom Johnson, his 40 winks disposals.
This will be his 13th, Gus.
Johnson, and then pushes it. Oh, look at that. Another turnover. It's been happening all day to Alex Jones. The Tigers go in. Bulldogs fly up. Jacob Conlon stays down. Has a ping on the sticks, but it's to the right-hand side. So 85 plays 48 in the Border Carpet scoreboard. Macca's time clock in the final term has gone close to 7 minutes, Dan Vaccaro.
Yeah, it has, and that's just really poor by Tom Johnson. He's done that probably about 3 or 4 times today. Really, really out of character. It's really strange to see.
85-48. Thanks to Border Carpets. The kick goes long down the line. Once again, the Bulldogs falling over. Exiting defensive 50. Back inside it goes. The Dogs have numbers. Soroczynski wants to overlap and bring the footy out the broadcast side wing. His handball went out wide. Bit of a coward punch there from Heine Hennessy. He's lucky he didn't land that one on Soroczynski, otherwise he would have found himself in the book, I reckon. The old big haymaker. Boundary throw in right in front of Kylie King for the Newmarket Hotel as big Michael Driscoll comes for a spell.
Kylie, we got you?
Oh,
yeah. We sort of have.
Yeah.
All right, anyway, we'll get you soon, Kylie. Play goes on. Mathy, ground level, tearing his way through. Hillary got a hand on it. O'Brien tries hard for the Tigers. Chesser takes them on. Muller got him. Heine Hennessy came through. And the umpire has called for it. So we might try you now, Kylie, for the Newmarket. You got us now? No. Okay. Mathy on the boot. A high ball going up. Duncan. Jewel coming through. Fighter hand pass out. Anyone's ball at the moment. King sliding along the ground. Brown's got him. Umpire is going to let him off the hook. And he will ball it up. Rightio, Dan, we'll go to you, mate, for 40 winks.
Yep, so the inside 50 count, boys. 3 inside 50s for Wodonga, 4 for Albury. Riley Boss being good with 2 early touches.
Muller, and then he comes out this side to Elliot Powell. Plays on, wheels and goes. Look at that centering kick. Baker sits in the hole over his head. Bice, 2 bites. And he took that mark and then wanted to play on. Initially, I think he thought, I don't know if the umpire's going to pay this to me, so I think he took off, Dan.
Yeah, it looked like he just took off and then it was paid as they go up now. And Josh Matthew again.
Comes out to Johnson on the boot. Turns over to Page. Jacob, long ball going in, looking for another Jacob. Jacob Conlon out the back now, rolling ball off the ground. Garlett touched. Touched it was by Heiner, and it's gone through for a 1 behind.
Yep, really good effort there by Heiner to get the last fingertip in. They're still trying hard, Wodonga, but just nowhere near good enough today, Lukey.
That's it. That's right. Dan, let's have a look here. So 86 plays 48. On the border carpet scoreboard, Macca's time clock has gone 9.5 here in the final term.
That'll be Baker's 31st touch, boys.
Yeah, he's had a good day. First game back. Outer side now. Ball at ground level. Here's Luke Daly. Picks it up to O'Brien. And Tom now swings around onto that right boot. Gets it into Isaac Muller. Muller turns and goes. Long one going forward. Ball going back. But Morrison is back there all on his own. Gets it off to Baker. Shocking hand pass. Story of the day again. Garlett steals it. Pinches it. Left foot snap. Wobbly one. Offline. And that one has hit the behind post. And it's gone out on the full on the bounds. Out of bounds on the full.
We got there in the end, Lukey. Kylie King, Newmarket Hotel.
Yeah, back with you, lads. Driscoll's just run out, so he's still looking good after that little hamstring concern earlier on, so it doesn't seem to have slowed him down.
Dan Vaccaro, 40 winks.
It's really poor footy we've seen all day. You saw Charlie Morrison just do a terrible turnover to Angus Baker there. It's just really been the story. And again, uncharacteristic Charlie Morrison, such a good decision maker along with Tom Johnson, and they've both done that all day today as well.
Back in play. The ball goes towards Bice. Shimmy shakes, wants to find the left. Can't quite get there. Now he does. Poor kick inside, forward 50. Matthew's going to have to be clean. Gathers, handballs. Trying to find Spiteri. Kicks long down the line. Chopped out by Powell. So I like this move from Albury Tigers. Powell's playing a kick behind the footy and is linking up in a quarterback style of role. Out towards Jeff. Garlett, inside, forward 50. Conlon just palms it down, Ruckman style to Big Ben Kelly. And we'll ball the footy up 35 out from the Tigers' goal.
Okay, so a lot of numbers around this stoppage. So the Tigers will get the points in the round 8 clash this afternoon, the O&M. Both teams coming in with a 5-1 win-loss record. But the Tigers will chalk up their 6th. Umpire has seen the ball go to Ben Kelly, and he'll have a shot now. About 40 out, Dan, by the time he strikes this to the hospital end.
Yeah, he will. He'll have a shot directly in front, 40 metres out, and he's going to look like putting this through and really put a dagger in the hearts of Wodonga and their fans today.
86 plays 48, border carpet scoreboard. Yellow and black in no danger of losing this game. In comes Ben Kelly on the boot, sends it through. What a day it has been for them. 92 plays 48. That's a double for Kelly. And it has been an absolute procession here at John Flower Oval on this Saturday afternoon, Dan Vaccaro.
Absolutely. It's been an absolute show of class here by Albury. A really good finish there by Kelly. Who do we reckon, boys, as well? A really even output from Albury Tigers. Who's been sort of the votes? We've got an MVP. I've got a really tough job after the game. But who's been some of the standouts for you, boys?
Oh, Bice again.
Yeah, Bice has been good.
I think Hodgson as well has been fantastic.
I thought Tom O'Brien's had a good game, Gus.
Yeah, I think so too, and I've liked the game of Max Byrne as well across half-back. Bit of a click coming through the headsets, boys. No, it's not the applause. It's the Wodonga Bulldogs stunned on their home deck. Wilson, dispossessed of the footy. Gets the ball onto Gaynor. Gaynor back inboard to Reece King. King, left foot kick, not his best. Inside 50, it's a high up and under. It's a wobbler. And Greenhill intercepts nicely. Darts the ball inboard. Matt Wilson marks a true centre half back for the Tigers. Right foot kick, dangerous. It's okay. Finds its way to Deneen. Methodical football from the Dogs. They switch to Baker. His 40 winks, please, Daniel.
He's going to be his 33rd, this one here.
Up to Spiteri, who marks. True centre wing out of side. Les Cheesley side. Right foot kick from Spit Up. Looked like something you do on a Sunday. A worm burner along the deck. Up towards half forward. Baker on the give and go. Racks up 3 40 winks disposals. Give him 4 here. Inside forward 50 goes Baker. Wilding brings it to ground level. Kitching's there on the crump. Handballs backwards. O'Brien's in defence for the Tigers. They try and clear defensive lines. Jimmy Grills shows some composure under the pump. On to Gilmore. Gilmore's right foot kick goes long down the line, and Luke Daly and Matt Wilson have a good contest to force it out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. 14 minutes gone. Macca's time clock. The Tigers lead 92-48.
Well, if it wasn't a reality check last week against Rovers, boys, it might have been put down as a one-off, but this is a fan income reality check for Wodonga. They know their best is pretty good and their worst is pretty bad, so they've still got a lot of work to do to be a threat in finals.
Let's have a look. Far side, left of the centre. Muller has to go and meet it. Gainer tried to snavel it. Ground level, Mimo. Did he get crunched? Yes, he did. High. So Mimo will get the kick. Cade on the half-back flank for the maroon and white. He's with the Sharon now. Casey Marr wanted it, ignored him. Went wider to Spiteri. Spiteri. A 25-metre kick down the line to Jorgensen. Jorgensen wheels and goes inside. Kitching got hands to it, put it down. Cassidy comes through, cleans it up. Thought he caught one around the chops. Umpire agreed. Plays on, gets it into Kelly. Shocking. So another turnover.
Looking forward to seeing the turnover stats on Monday when Premier Data break this game down, boys.
Yeah, and I think O'Brien might have got brought down. Who got brought down? Jack Cassidy. After he got the kick away. So it goes to Kitching, and Kitching goes in to Spiteri over the shoulder. Yeah.
Whistle.
So a little soft, but probably there, Dan Vaccaro.
Yeah, absolutely. As we said, the free kick given to Spiteri. A little interesting fact today too, boys, going into this game. Wodonga going into this game have had the second least amount of turnovers in the league, just behind Yarrawonga.
They could have gone to last today after this game.
Yep, absolutely. So really had a character performance by Wodonga.
So the free kick, about as probably soft as a 40 winks mattress, Dan. Probably there in the end, Gussie, I reckon. Spiteri comes in, Noah. He kicked a nice one from there early in the day, and that makes it 2. So Noel Spiteri picks up a double. 92, plays 54 on the Border Carpet scoreboard. McDonald's time clock has gone close to 16 in the final term, Dan.
Yeah, consolation goal there by Noah. Actually, if you isolate his game, I actually think he's been pretty good going forward for Wodonga. He looks to be quite crafty along with Jack Chesser as well. So 2 positive signs to take out of the game if you're going to take the little wins out of it. But yeah, disappointing day by Wodonga.
38-point ball game on O&M Live. The Tigers lead the Dogs. Mac Jack sheds 4th quarter action on O&M Live. Umpire goes aloft in the middle once again. Driscoll took it out of the ruck, comes out broadcast side wing, and that's a nice kick to Marr. Got to be clean, got to be crisp. Kicks down the line. Jewell was pushed off the footy by Gilmore. Jewell comes in, joins in the action, and it goes out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. For the Newmarket Hotel boundary side, Kylie King. The Doggy supporters are starting to be a little bit quiet.
Yeah, they certainly are. And you can see that they've all turned out. There's nothing like a great rivalry that's been established over the years, and so it has been for Wodonga and Albury. They would have been looking for a little bit more consistency for effort from the Bulldogs, but not to be today.
Byrne, wrapped up by Jewell. Defensive 50 for the Tigers. We're at the Pierce Street end. Umpire has it.
I've liked Byrne's game, Luke.
Yeah, he's been good. And he was good against the Raiders too, wasn't he, Gussie? Very lively. Kelly, sweeping one. Baker picks it up, though. Chesser missed it. Gainer. And now gets Byrne. O'Hara has it. A beautiful hand pass inside to Page. Page on the left foot, going down the line. Muller got one hand to it. Driscoll tried to crack at it. King, though, on to Heiner Hennessy. He's got Garland out. Tries to get Luke Daly. Now it's trapped. And the umpire is going to call for it, Gus McLeod.
He certainly will. Dan Vaccaro, 40 winks, inside 50s in the final term.
Yeah, for sure, Gussie. So Albury Tigers, 10 inside 50s to Wodonga Bulldogs, 7.
For 2 goals apiece, 92 plays 54. The Tigers lead for Border Carpets. Angus Baker, another 40 winks disposal. Nice kick inboard. Mathy got one high there. In fact, it was Mimo. He's a little bit slow to get up.
He is.
He's a bit ginger.
Yeah.
Mimo comes out, finds a mark. The Dogs are just
bleeding a bit too. He's coming off the ground too after that knock.
Oh, well spotted, Kylie, for the Newmarket Hotel. Got a very good eye there, spotting the claret. Where's the blood coming from, Kylie?
Yeah, the nose.
Copped a bit of a
Or
whack to
maybe
the nose.
Nose or lip.
Johnson being paid the mark there. I reckon he got on the half volley, did Tommy. He won't mind. It's a 40 winks disposal. Number what, Dan Vaccaro?
Nah, Tommy Johnson's up to his 14th, Gus.
And that's probably his third or fourth turnover, unfortunately, Tommy. On to Elliot Power for the Tigers. Off half back. He was tripped by Kitching.
Oh,
and Power went to belt him, and he missed. And it's on here. It's on.
Oh, gee.
Tommy Johnson.
Yeah,
Tommy Johnson just threw one at Colby Heiner Hennessy here, boys, and this is not good.
Yeah, he got him with the left hook.
Yeah, this is not good. Umpires need to sort this one out. She's getting pretty ugly.
Pulling out a card, the umpire.
The card is coming out.
For Tom Johnson, I think.
And Tom Johnson just let his emotions come to the forefront of the attention here. I think he's going to cop a yellow card.
Yep.
Tom
Uncalled
Johnson.
for.
Tom Johnson's going to get a yellow card here. The Tigers have regathered the football. Grills goes inside forward 50. One-on-one, Garlett brings it to ground level across the face for a minor score. And Tom Johnson is being booked by the umpire, and I dare say it'll be for a striking offence. Tom Johnson is shown the card at the 19-minute mark of the final term. And that all started from a Kitching and Elliot Power, a bit of a scuffle. He got legged. And interesting enough, boys, they grew up playing from the same part of the world. Both boys that have done some work out at Dedarang.
Yeah, well, Gus, I tell you what, very lucky that Elliot Powell missed Kitching because it would have been a fair strike, Dan.
Yeah, it would have been. I think that's where Tom Johnson retaliated. Really poor act by Tommy Johnson. Someone with so much class and leadership can't just go in and whack blokes like that.
By the same token, if Powell had made contact first, we would have been seeing Elliot getting the yellow card. So not what you like to see, and it's probably ruined and put a sour taste in the mouths of what has been a pretty good day's footy.
Tell you what, Gussie, this guy's played a good game. Tom O'Brien, I should say, for the Albury Tigers today. He has been wonderful. So he's about to have a shot here. Tom O'Brien to the hospital end. So this would take it to, a very good lead. Get them out to 98, playing 54. Currently 92 to 54 on the Border Carpet scoreboard. Let's have a look if Tom can finish off a good day at the office for him. That's a lovely kick. Well done, Tom O'Brien. He's played a great game. So 98 plays 54 on the Border Carpet scoreboard. Tigers in no danger. Macca's time clock has gone 20 in the final term. Unfortunately, we had that little incident, Dan, but anyway, that's footy.
We did, and a little funny story to come out of that too, I think. JT leaned over the fence to have a few words to Kitching and Tom Johnson about what happened, and all those young little kids just started walking past JT, so I think he just had to calm down the explicitives.
Good on him.
Kylie King, Newmarket Hotel, it sort of sucked the life out of this game a little bit of a bitter taste across the John Flower Oval.
Yeah, definitely, and you could see Elliot Powell, he just turned, it's like he was accidentally tripped was how I read it, and he was ready to remonstrate, that's for sure, and then actually didn't get involved in the end.
It's always the retaliator that gets booked in footy, and that was Tom Johnson, a yellow card. Angus Baker, another 40 winks disposal, comes in board trying to find Driscoll. He dropped a mark because he's absolutely knackered. They get it back towards Gaynor. Gaynor's right foot kick. A low worm burner. Well done, Ollie Greenhill. Made a good contest. Gilmore wrapped him up and will ball the footy up. 21 minutes gone. Macca's time clock. The Tigers are home. 14-98 to the Dogs. 8-6-54. Border Carpet scoreboard.
Kelly, Driscoll, Kelly out of the ruck. O'Hara got a fist to it also. Jorgensen got spun around in an Elliot Tau tackle. I reckon he's fired up, Elliot, and says something to the umpire. Probably lucky not to give away 50 there.
He's an angry small man, Elliot Powell.
Yeah, not happy. Orange boots. They will get the win today, though. They've been very, very good, the Tigers. Sorochinsky off half-back. Takes off on the boot. Then looking down the line for Wilding. Lucas Collins got him wrapped up. Ball comes out the back. Jacob Page gets it out to Tom O'Brien. Back to Hillary. Hillary on the boot. In the middle. Great kick to Kelly. Kelly, Jorgensen, that's a mismatch, that one. Kelly, right out wide here, wanting Grills. Just got hands to it, dropped it, regathers, over the top to Hodgson, running from behind. Good football, this guy. Handballs inside to King. King on the boot. Will they get another? No. That's a very wayward kick. Still up a long way, though. 98-54 on the Border Carpet scoreboard. Macca's time clock's gone 22, almost 23 in the final term, Gus McLeod for McRae Motors.
Mathy gets his hands on the share, and his numbers, please, Dan.
Josh Mathy, boys, has had 28 disposals.
For 40 winks, he kicks down the line, trying to find Kitching. Mimo gets the free kick, or the ball, I should say, onto Heiner, and kicks down the line, turned over. Hamish Gilmore in front of Gus Jones, too strong. Switches to Lucas Conlon, another man who we're keeping tabs on today. For 40 winks, Lucas Conlon.
8 touches for Lucas Conlon.
Only 8.
It's been quiet.
Very quiet.
He's kept wielding quiet, though, I will say that.
Yeah, he certainly has. Not as many kick-ins for him to take today, only the 6. Ben Kelly, long, high up and under. Braden O'Hara's going to have to get high here, not high enough. Cassidy copped to Falcon, falls the way of Heiner Hennessy. Back on the ground after having a bit of claret pour. Here's a go for Page, on to Powell. Powell back to Gaynor. Gaynor over the top to O'Brien. Probably been Albury's best today. On to Elliot Powell. Busts through a pack. Gets to 50. Set sail. Inside attack. And well done. The big cactus, I think it was, boys, going back with the flight. It is the big cactus. An elite body and paint mark of the day. And he's a contender to be the ultimate fastness. Tough nut of the day as well.
Been impressive, Cactus. He's certainly cemented his spot in the senior side. He's usually one of those fringe in and out players, but I thought he's performed really well today.
Yeah, that was a wonderful mark. Very well called by Gus McLeod from McRae Motors. Now Mathy, back pocket, hospital end to Sorochinsky. Kingman in the mark. Deep in the back pocket here, the doggies. And there's a siren. And it's been a bad day on their home turf. The Wodonga Bulldogs just not having a great afternoon at all. The Albury Tigers, on the other hand, have been absolutely wonderful. 14-14-98. They take out this round 8 clash over the Wodonga Bulldogs, 8-6-54. A comprehensive win from the yellow and black. So very shortly, we'll have our Anytime Fitness Player of the Day, Dan Vaccaro. Look at him go, Gus McLeod. He is organised. He's racing out the door here of our commentary
moving
box.
like a gazelle.
Oh, I can't even see him. He's moving that fast.
Lukey, I know it's not our job to pick the Anytime Fitness Player of the Day. Kylie and Dan will have the pleasure of doing that. I don't think this is the hardest. Every game you sit there and go, you know what, there's someone easy to pick. Today is going to be very hard to pick a winner of our Anytime Fitness Player of the afternoon.
And particularly from this team, Gussie, the Albury Tigers, they always give such an even contribution. So, yeah, the guys have got their work cut out. Interesting to see who they will go for. I'd nearly go for Riley Bice just because in the first half when the game was to be won, he did play a massive part.
And he got shut down the second quarter with that tag, though, Lukey, so you can mount a case for that. I thought Bryden Hodgson, as always, played a good game, but probably died out a bit after half-time. Really enjoyed the game of Tommy O'Brien today. I thought he was really good playing across that wing, half-back, half-forward role.
Surely that'd have to be nearly one of his better games for the club, wouldn't it, Gus?
I'd say, and I thought Jake Page was good today as well. They had a really good even contribution. Jake Gaynor was always very good. Isaac Muller was dominant in the ruck as well. So plenty of players to choose from. And I don't envy the job of Kylie King and Dan Vaccaro. They're going to have a bloody tough job picking this one. Of course, 3 goals to Riley Bice and Jacob Conlon, 2 goals to Ben Kelly and Tommy O'Brien, 2 goals to Jeffy Garlett as well. I'll tell you what, going to be a tough one.
Yeah, it will be, Gussie, that is for sure. If you just tuned in, comprehensive win of the Albury Tigers, but we did have a scuffle, didn't we, Gussie, with not long to go down here. When I say a scuffle, it was Kitching and it was Elliot Powell, wasn't it?
It certainly was. Another player you can mount a case for is probably Jimmy Grills. I thought he was pretty good today. And it looks like, who have they gone for here, boys? Is it Tommy O'Brien? I think it might be. We'll cross boundary side. Kylie King, our Anytime Fitness Player of the Day.
Yes, Tom O'Brien, congratulations. The boys struggled to pick an absolute star because it was a real team effort today. Congratulations. What an effort.
It was a great game today. Wodonga, they did all right, but yeah, we really just came out and played a great game today.
Talk us through that first quarter.
I don't know, I went into the middle, came on after like 5 minutes and just started getting my hands on it. Pretty lucky.
Well, congratulations, you've done really well, and I think the Bulldogs were pretty stunned in that opening quarter. You guys were just all over it.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I think we just jumped them early and then held on. They came back a bit, but we're all over them really.
And how would you describe your individual effort today?
Good first quarter, then not too bad after. It copped a few knocks, but
come on,
yeah, it was a good game.
You're better than that.
Oh, you're being very modest. Tom, I'll let you enjoy it, and congratulations for our Anytime Fitness Player of the Day.
Tom O'Brien, boundary side with Kylie King, and The Albury Tigers will be pretty happy with that effort, I'd imagine, Lukey. They run away victorious, 98-54. A big, big win in the magnitude of the season for the Albury Tigers. And even bigger down the road in Wangaratta, the Rovers have beaten Yarrawonga.
Wow.
What a competition we have on our hands, Lukey.
Yeah, that just throws in a couple more question marks, doesn't it, Gussie? But, the Tigers here, they had a wonderful opening quarter at John Flower Oval this afternoon, and they never looked back after that. They just shut the Bulldogs out on their home turf, and Jordan Taylor will be absolutely ropeable with his team following that.
Yeah, he certainly will. We're tracking Kylie King into the rooms to get the song of the of the Albury Tigers. Now, if you just joined the broadcast, the Tigers too strong, 98-54. They were absolutely scintillating. They led the first quarter by 32 points, Lukey, and there was no coming back from that. The Albury Tigers were absolutely stunning today at the Kennel.
Such a professional club, aren't they, Gussie? You used the word methodical, and they just really pulled apart the Bulldogs today. It was clinical.
It certainly was. Might get Dan to have a bit of a play with those paddles and get them pointing towards the Kennel a bit more.
We're nearly there, boys. They're warming up.
It's always hard to tell what's happening. They'll sit at top of the ladder tonight, the Albury Tigers. 6-1 following the loss to the Yarrawonga Pigeons. They beat the Wodonga Bulldogs today, 98-54. The Tigers too strong away on the road to Wodonga Bulldogs. We'll take a break. You're listening to O&M Live, and on O&M Live, you won't miss a thing.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
Pain or injury can stop you from living life to the fullest. Albury Wodonga Private Hospital specialises in advanced orthopaedic services and offers a full range of care from diagnosis to surgery and rehabilitation. Get back to the life you love with our support.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where students come first. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go for it with GoTAFE.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything.
Rewrite the rules. Carlton 0.
R08 Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? And meditation? one for sport, and one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
GoTafe is hiring, and we want you on our team. Flexibility, professional development, generous remuneration, and a staff wellbeing program are just a few of the great benefits we offer. If you have a passion for your skill or qualification and you're looking for real work-life balance, then GoTafe is the place for you.
GoTafe is leading,
Inspiring.
hands-on,
Flexible. Fabulous.
We have dozens of trainer positions and corporate roles open right now. Get in touch today.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.